at the Palm Beach shows.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's been a hot minute, to be honest. Yeah. You know what? I think I'll probably get more sun in Pittsburgh than I did out here, to be honest. Because well, Dan likes to go outside sometimes, right?
I do now and then.
Okay.
Lately, I've been going out a bunch. So
okay. Well, then maybe we'll have to see. All right, guys, are we good? We should actually start.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to.
Do you want to restart? I mean, we're
I'm
very
literally
we're
gonna
keeping that.
because I will actually edit the cast this week, and I will not put that in. Also, can we also delete the bot so that there's no proof?
yeah.
Of what just happened?
We just need to screw up the beginning every time to actually get you to edit it correctly.
I know exactly. The last 2 weeks have been
Ooh,
quite
wow,
fun.
man.
Though to be fair, I had a power outage and Time Warner outage for like
You
20
did.
hours.
That's
yesterday,
true.
Last week, both of us did. Anyway, all right, here we go. God, I'm nervous now. I haven't fucked it up in a while, and now I don't know what to do. Shit.
You should just leave all of this in.
Oh God. All right, here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1. What's going on?
This fucking guy, dude.
Just leaving it. We're just leaving it. All right, hold on. Wait a second. Wait.
All right, thanks for coming out, everybody. We had a good time,
Yep. It's good.
both
Thank
of
you.
us. I don't think Scott did.
Yo, man, those questions this week were just on fire.
Yeah,
Everybody, good
crazy.
job on
Yeah,
that.
they were
All right.
crazy.
Are we ready to start? Are we good to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Talk some news
Just got
and
back.
updates.
Just got back. All right.
Stop looking at chat and shit, Scott. Just
Yeah, no,
focus.
the chat's psyching me out. It's the fucking mean people in chat. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 188 of the KBMOD podcast, featuring AllShamNoWow, or as I call him, Mark Rabin, my baby's daddy. What's up, buddy?
Do you have a child? I haven't seen it.
Well,
Where
once
are you
again,
keeping
I feel
it?
like this is an awkward time to bring it up on a podcast, but
Are you hiding it in your vape dungeon? I'm sure that you
His vape dungeon.
are just waiting for the perfect moment to get all of my money that doesn't
Yeah.
exist in
Listen,
child support payments. I don't
feel
know
like
when this happens.
I feel like Allison usually is around, and it would be an awkward conversation to have. Is she listening right now? She might be. Actually,
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay, we're
No.
fine. Well, anyway, yes,
Definitely not.
I have a baby. It is yours, guys. The date is May 3rd, 2015, and yeah, it's good to have Sham on. And I think this is like the first time we've had a guest, and then like all of the normal crew on. Actually, last week did we have everybody? I think maybe last week we did too. I don't
I
remember.
think we did. I don't know.
Split together, but I feel like it's been a while since we've had everyone here.
So
So
188 of these. I don't know.
It's been a while since we've had everyone here and everyone's actually been lucid.
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Lucid. Yeah, it's.
Are you telling me that you guys do drugs and then you do the podcast?
No, you know what the drug is? It's called getting through life, Mark. You know, like, certain things that people do.
Wow,
something
it's always so difficult, Scott. You're jumping over hurdles every day.
every day. Literally.
Now I
just
want to
getting
see
out of my
Scott
bed.
actually jump hurdles.
God. I have such stubby little fat legs, dude. It would be the most painful. I would
Okay,
probably
to see it.
destroy. Yeah, it's not helping my case here, to be honest. It would probably be really funny. There's no way. I always remember, even in high school, when I would have to occasionally run, and they would like do hurdles. I'd be like, "Don't you look at me? You think I can do that? You know how stubby my legs are? Like
Do you
I am
actually
like
have to do hurdles?
No, we didn't.
I feel like hurdles are incredibly dangerous to just like have a gym class do or something.
Yeah.
I don't
used
feel
to do
like they
them.
were even full-size hurdles, to be honest. But I do. I think, or it might have been my friends who were like, "Try to run the hurdle," and I definitely fucking wiped out on a hurdle once or twice, thinking that I could do it. But anyway, why are we bringing up repressed memories from my past? I hate you all. This is yeah. Let's talk about what we've been doing this week, Sham. What we've been doing, what I've been trying to do the past couple, I don't know, even months, is talk about things that aren't necessarily revolve around gaming. You know, something interesting. Maybe you went to a nice show. Maybe there was a flea market in town that you went to. If you're Brandon, maybe you drank a bunch. If you were at a convention. If you're John, I mean, lots of little real life things, and then we'll get into what we've been playing this week. But did you have anything like that?
Well, Allison had a friend in town from Canada.
Yes. Do you remember?
And we took her out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we took her out to a few places. Well, new things for us. We went to this Australian restaurant that's in downtown LA, like in a terrible spot of downtown LA. Whew, boy, that place is a fucking hellhole. If you come to LA, don't go downtown. All right, that's where Skid Row is.
Terrible.
It smells like absolute urine. It just the purest form of urine is what downtown LA smells like.
Pure distilled virgin
not
urine.
good. But they have really good restaurants down there in little pockets of places, and this place is called Bronzed Aussie, and they serve meat pies. Absolutely fucking delicious. They have meat pies,
Meat pie.
fries, and mashed potatoes. They have coffee, just different kinds of authentic Australian stuff. The only Australian people work there too, which was interesting. I didn't know that they would be able to get
Are
away
you
with that.
sure they weren't
only-
putting on an accent though?
They
Like,
were not. No, it
Okay.
sounded legit to me.
Okay.
But then we went to this donut place called Donut Friend. It's over a little bit east of
Donut
Glendale.
Friend? That is the
Yeah,
best
I
name.
love the name.
it's
Great
called
name.
Donut Friend. It's a little bit east of Glendale, and it is the absolute best donut I have ever had in my life. And they serve like
Oh.
20 to 30 different flavors. I would look them up. I think that they only have that one location in LA.
You
I
have any
can't be
idea
too
how
sure,
bad I
but,
want a donut now, you motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
but they. All right, I'm gonna give you a name of one right quick that. They all have like weird punny names, so give me a second to look this up. You know, they're really
Donut Friend
silly.
is just-
Can I talk
So,
about
like-
that? Like in the meeting when they decided to actually name the place with the owners, they were like, they had all these names, and then finally they were like, I don't. Can we just call it that friend? I don't. Know.
Just
So
They were
they-
like, you know what?
like-
Yes, let's vote
Like
on
they
it.
have a
Different
donut
weeks
called
of-
they have a donut called Nutellavision, which is it's
That sounds
filled
good.
with Nutella. It's got a little bit of olive oil and
You're
it's topped with
triggering
the
my
vanilla
wife
glaze
here.
and some sea salt. Fucking beautiful.
Well, fuck you in
another-
the ass.
Another one that I had is called caramel assault. It's just caramel and sea salt on top.
Oh my
Very simple, nice. They've got a gorilla biscuit, which is a donut with powdered sugar and dulce, like filled with bananas. It's just
God.
Gorilla
it's
biscuit
wonderful.
sounds like one of those made up sex moves you read about on Urban Dictionary.
Gave her the gorilla biscuit
But they
as hard as
also
I
have-
could.
Gorilla biscuit.
They also have one that it's filled with apples and also has cheddar cheese and caramel sauce and peanuts. It's called Explosions in the Pie. I don't know
Oh,
what
wow.
that combination
I think I've
is.
looked that
Like
up on
apples
Pornhub
with
before.
cheddar cheese. But I don't know. Maybe it's for somebody. But I mean, you can go there and you can get a pack, a half dozen for like $12 if you get
It's not bad
certain
for like
flavors.
artisan
They have
donuts.
they have volumes that have specific popular flavors, and that's $12 for 6 of them, which is really good for the quality of these donuts. And they're always fresh and they're beautiful. And you should probably go there if you're in town.
Sham,
It's
look,
definitely
I need
worth
you
it.
I need you to fucking sell out ASAP because listen, you have a gift. Like you describing the meat pies and the donuts you just ate. Like I'm going to go there after the podcast. I don't care if they're not open, and I'm going to have some of what
You're
you just
pretty
said.
close. You're probably
Really
like
Break in.
like 20 to 30 minutes away from
Really?
there. It's not too bad. Yeah.
Break in and having an Australian meat pie fucking donut friend orgy, dude. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
combine it. Sounds good. Wow. Well, that was fun. So what? She was here for a day or two, or and you guys just hung out?
Yeah. We went out 2 days. She was just here with her sister, and also she was busy, so we only had a couple of days to spend with her. But we stayed out for a long time, like 10 hours at a time. Went to Tokyo, a little Tokyo for the first time since being here, even though we had planned to before. You know, it's what you expect it to be. We went to several Hello Kitty kind of shops. We
Mark,
went to
no,
a
I don't
place
know
called-
the stereotypes I have associated with the Japanese. Could you tell me what they are?
we went to their store called Anime Jungle, which is
okay.
it's
wow.
wonderful.
That does not sound like my scene.
The
That's where I
fucking
live.
dolls, the figurines that they have in there are so immaculate, and they have like a buyback policy. And all I can think of is that guys are taking these home, coming on them, cleaning them off, and then taking them back to the store and selling them back. Because I can't think of any other reason
Other reason
to
for
buy
picnic.
like a $300 figurine and then take it back to the store. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're buying that, you know what you wanted. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm talking.
You
That
can't
store is
walk out of
great
the
though. I
store
mean,
with
like
that
half
and-
of the shit,
Yeah.
half of the shit is just breast sticking out as far as the eye can see, but still covered up because you know it's tasteful in there. They want kids to be able to come in and get their
tasteful
Pokemon
in
and
there.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards and have a
know I
good
do.
time and not be penetrated by the incredible sexualness of the store. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was my week.
Cool.
At least when it
was-
comes to not gaming.
That was great. That was great. Sometimes it's a struggle, but I'm really you came.
Oh, wait, no, I did do one more thing. Hold on, that was out of the ordinary. So in Santa Monica, at the pier, there's this triple set of stairs that's pretty famous for skateboarding, but you have to get a permit to film there because it's just like it's right in the public area. So we ended up being down there while they were filming for a skate part. So we stayed there for like 2.5 or 3 hours watching people trying to land tricks, and one guy landed a trick, and that entire time it was nuts to watch, but it was very interesting. It was the first time I ever got to watch anybody film a trick live. But they had a van with a giant Steadicam on the front with, a dude who was in the passenger seat looking through those goggles at the frame to get it right. They had several other cameras. But to watch people go by where somebody's trying to film a skate trick and and like they're supposed to be there, they've paid to be there, they've got it scheduled out. So they've got people who are trying to corral others to keep them out of harm's way. And these people start to walk by and it's like they have no sense of awareness of what's going on around them. And these dudes are jumping off of 3 sets of stairs with a skateboard and it's flipping out from under them and flying straight forward into their path of walking. And nobody knows. There's a guy with a bullhorn fucking yelling at people, trying to get them to stop.
Watch out for
and
the skateboard.
They stop for a second, then they walk forward and they stop again to keep looking. It's amazing how stupid some humans can be to where they're even below cows. Like they can be herded a lot easier than humans are.
Below cows.
It's really bad.
See, I tend to have a very high view of cows. I think cows are one of the smartest animals on the planet.
Do you?
Well, I think you're wrong.
That's
but
an interesting
I mean,
theory because you're very
I think
wrong
they
about
play
that.
dumb on purpose, and they
Oh.
actually
So
the
that we
joke's on
slaughter them en
because every
masse?
time they get
Was that the
slaughtered,
end
they
game?
get slaughtered, but then they get their 99 virgins in heaven or whatever it is. So I think the joke's on us.
Oh, so
or whatever the
they're
cow.
highly intelligent but highly religious.
Highly religious,
Cows.
right? So like we're like, wow, we're eating you for meat. You would think by now you guys would have figured it out, and they're like, dude, I'm fucking that thing's up in heaven doing whatever it wants. At least cow heaven. That's my theory.
Doing whatever it wants.
Yeah.
Probably just sitting around.
That's why you'll see cows occasionally just run directly into like knives and stuff like that. 'Cause it's like, man, get me out of here. I'm over this.
I have to say,
I know I got
never
cow
seen
heaven
that.
incoming. Oh, really? It used to happen all the time on my
Actually,
farm.
not, not witnessed a suicidal cow.
It happens, dude. Anyway.
Where are these cows? There's just a knife hanging around that they can.
You just
like,
gotta do some.
tape
You just
to the
gotta do
wall
some
somewhere.
research, Blod. Just don't believe what the popular media wants you
What
to
the
believe.
media tells you, yeah.
You gotta dig a little deeper. Literally, Google mass cow suicide in Google right now, and I bet you'll find a bunch of stories that CNN and Fox News will not report on. But anyway, they're keeping the wool over our eyes, which is funny because the sheep really are in control. It really is the wolf. All right, I don't know where I'm going with this anymore, but thank you, Sham, for that info.
You're welcome.
And would anybody else have anything they would like? It can be you guys. It can go popcorn. So somebody go.
I did adult things this weekend. I did like parenting and providing for my family.
I saw
stuff.
some tweets about that. Yeah.
It was crazy. This is not something I normally do very often.
Did you feel like super exhausted afterward? Were you like, I
kind of did, but
Yeah?
like on Saturday was one of the first days I've had both the kids alone all day, and it was super fun actually. So
Sounds really dangerous for the kids.
it does
Yeah.
it does sound really dangerous for the kids.
I can just see Megan just sweating super hard. Like,
Yeah.
have to be aware that long.
And I took them to Joe's Crab Shack, which is the best place to take kids for lunch because there's a playground
Yeah.
at Joe's Crab Shack
Huh.
immediately
Do they
by
all
the
do
outside
that?
seating. I don't think they all do.
Because I remember going to one in Florida that also had the same thing, just like a gigantic sandbox with a playground.
So I let them, they would like graze on their food and then go back and play for like 10 minutes and then come back and take one bite of food and then go play again. So, but yeah, overall the day went well. They were very
That's
well
good.
behaved. It was awesome.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying, Dan, is that you didn't inadvertently
Dan didn't have to kill his kids.
kill the kids.
I didn't have to kill the
Kept
children. I didn't have to give them Benadryl or
Nice.
subdue them in any way.
That's impressive.
Just a
Man, I
good
like that you
day.
have the drug picked out that you would
Like you were
induce
like, I gotta-
upon your kids if they ever acted out around you. Straight up Benadryl injected right into the veins.
And
Hunter
then-
like cuts his finger. He's like, get him the Benadryl. Drink it. Keep him safe.
And then,
Yeah.
and then I went and I did the grocery shopping this Sunday, which is a rare occurrence. I have done it before, but not in a long time. So
Did you
I
get
had
any Hot Pockets?
so Megan knows where like everything is. No, I followed her list,
Oh, okay.
and it took me like 3 hours to get
What?
it done.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I can
we have
see
a
that.
giant grocery store that
Yeah.
we go to. I mean, giant. And I had no idea where anything was, so I was going in circles. Like,
I can relate trying to read like a really long, like a woman's list, like of my mom used to sometimes send me, and yeah, absolutely, just no fucking clue. Like, and also I'm like scared to ask. Like, I don't want to ask anybody. I don't want to talk to people in the grocery store. I want to find it myself. So, did you actually ask for things? Or did
I
you
didn't
just
ask
find
for
it?
anything.
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
why.
I put my headphones in and listened to a podcast the whole time.
See,
So-
we will not ask for help.
I was just like, it was kind of zen. I was just kind of like zoned out, looking for food, walking around the
What was
store.
the hardest item to find? I'm curious. Can you remember? Did you have an item that you were just like, God, this thing doesn't exist?
Actually, what was weird is I went late on a Sunday, so I think they restock Sunday nights. I don't know that for sure, but like the bunch of stuff was just not there. Like the bread section looked like the end of the world was coming, and everyone had brought all the bread.
Oh, it was all
Like
gone.
it was all gone. So I didn't even get I didn't even get the sub buns I was supposed to get because they were gone. But yeah, Megan thought I wasn't coming home. She tweeted at me.
That's funny.
She tweeted at me.
He's like, this is it. He's gone.
Are you coming home? The children and I are becoming concerned. Zoe doesn't remember what you look like. It took me a very long time. So, but I was like, I'm going to get this done. I was kind of like real relaxed and at peace, though. I was like, this store is wonderful. No one was there because it was like 6 o'clock on a Sunday.
You'd already missed
So-
the bread rush.
Yeah, apparently. I also don't even know what tragedy is about to befall the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, clearly you
They're
guys
out
are
of bread
prepared.
everywhere.
Yeah, you were out of the loop on that one.
That's good.
But yeah.
Well, Dan,
It's,
that's good. I'm glad to hear it. You know what? When I
That's
get
good.
there, I'm going to give you a pat on the back. And then soon,
Shit.
Saturday. I'll see you. All right, that's good. Anybody else have anything else that they?
I actually went to a show. I went and saw
Seven Lions. I saw it on Twitter. Yeah.
Seven
Sorry to
Lions.
steal your thunder. I'm
man.
just excited.
Calm down.
Well, I'm
just excited
done.
that he went to a show.
That was all I had, and he ripped it from my hands.
No, but I want to hear your experience. But I'm excited. I was excited.
I went with Hutch and his girlfriend Esmeralda, who's super cool. And we also met up with a guy who used to work at Machinima named Mahmood. I don't know if you know him, Scott.
Yes, I do. I know both of them well. Both are cool people. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, she used to work at Machinima as well, and as
Yeah, I
did
used to work
Hutch.
with her.
Yep.
Not my mood as much, but yeah.
Yeah, and that was really fun. It was my first experience with a show like that. I think. Well, no, actually, that's a lie. I saw Maddie on at E3 at the Twitch event when I first started working here. So that was cool. It was interesting. I mean, I don't know if I would make it like an everyday thing. I'm not like I wouldn't do it like every weekend like Nick Fenton does. But
I like how he's the standard.
well, yeah. I mean, is he not?
Is there anybody that goes to as many shows as Nick?
He goes to a ton
I
of
mean,
shows
anymore
now.
in our, probably not. Yeah, probably not. At least right now. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was giving him a run for my money for a while before he was here full time. But yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't go on. But did you like? What was the like? Was the like sound good at the place you went? Like the
Yeah, it was really good. We were up pretty far. The lights, the whole show that was going on with the lights was really cool. I don't know. It was fun. I don't really know what else to say.
Very
That's
cool.
good.
I'm
I'll
jealous.
take fun. I'll take fun from Blacklight Attack on an electronic music show. To
Saying
me,
that I
is a
didn't hate
victory.
something, yeah.
Yeah, well, not necessarily hate, but that you enjoy, like that. Like I'm glad, like no one like fucking barfed on you or like peed on you while you were trying to listen to Seven.
I mean,
Lions.
well, I didn't realize it was going to be a 16+ show.
yeah.
so So I
that's
didn't
rough,
realize that it was just that there were going to be just like a
Somebody
whole
like-
bunch of like half-dressed teenagers, which was a little
Turns out it's
creepy.
That's really right. I mean, what?
What's that?
What'd you say? Nothing. You said something about half-dressed teenagers being super inappropriate for Seven Lines. I agree. 16 plus.
It was it was not necessarily for Seven Lives. I have no like frame of reference for this artist, but like I've never been to any kind of EDM show. I guess I had like seen it on TV and just never really linked it up in my head that like this is what I was going to be doing with my time. But it was just kind of like it was interesting to just all of a sudden be like, oh, these aren't just things that happen in like Fast and Furious movies. Like people actually take off all their clothes and then fucking
oh yeah,
do a bunch of Molly and then touch each other and like wave gloves in front of each other's faces, like with lights on the fingertips
That's true.
and shit.
That all does happen.
And it was just it was funny. I was like, I am wearing just a shirt and jeans and I feel insane. I'm wearing like 80% more clothing than every single one of these people, you know? And it was weird the level of attractiveness in the goers. You know, there were some uggos there, but like male and female,
uggos.
and male and female,
word.
everybody there was like ridiculously hot. I felt I was just like,
well, that's why I
don't
feel a certain
know.
responsibility because I go to those shows and I'm like, I'm here, motherfuckers. Like I
You
look
gotta
like
bring the average
I
down.
bring the average down. Like I go in there and people are like, how did we let that handicap kid in? You know what I mean?
Comes in looking like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, and I'm the same thing.
showing
I'm
up.
wearing jeans and like I went to a show last night with I went to BaseCon. You know, I'm wearing my like Dying Light T-shirt. People are coming up to me, by the way, too, though, like like rolling and stuff, and they're like, "Man, they're like Dying Light," and they want to talk to me about Dying Light. I'm like, I've never even fucking played it. Please don't talk to me about it. That was last night. But
I did feel really out of place, and I kind of was like, you know what? Whatever the equivalent of this was when I was these kids' age, I wasn't doing that because there was no one place where all the hot people congregated. You know?
Yeah.
If I had known about it, I'd probably be trying to slip in there somewhere. And
Listen, man.
but it
The
was
problem
just
with
like,
you is you can fit in. You just have to take off more of your clothes next time.
yeah, I'd have to remove my shirt and get some
Just get some
electrical tape to
stockings.
put over my nipples and X's. Get some fishnets. You know, I think I could rock that look. I think I could do it. It was fun.
That's cool. Anybody else before I was gonna go real quick too.
Oh, and I saw Avengers, and that was okay. It was good, entertaining.
Cool.
I did. I saw Avengers as well. That's about the extent of my fun week.
Okay. But yeah, I want to see that. I have not. Oh, it is better than the last one. Same. About close. What's the rating?
About close. About close. Yeah, the action was really good.
I heard it was super long.
It is really long, and I think that's going to keep happening more and more as they continue with these Marvel movies because they're just tackling like really long story arcs in the span of a movie. So they're going to have to take some liberties with the time.
Yeah.
And it was a Marvel movie, you know. It wasn't super good. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't great. It was just good. It was like they didn't really push the envelope. They didn't take any risks aside from like Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think Marvel movies are by any stretch of the imagination like ridiculously good. They're always like adequate.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I
Like
don't have
you know
I'm
you're
not
going to be entertained. You know you're going to get your money's worth for the movie, but you're not going to be like, oh god, this is the next fucking like. It's not going to be like Kubrick film or anything. You know,
Right.
it's like
I get that.
it's just good.
Also, I was laughing because Megan just tweeted me a Daily Mail link with the headline: "Police baffled as dozens of suicidal cows throw themselves off a cliff in the Alps." Megan, thank you very much.
There you go.
for backing it
Justifying
up.
your religious cows. Boom.
And I'm just saying, what did they knew where they're getting their 99 versions. Here it is. Okay, that's good. And I went to BaseCon last night, which was like a hardstyle event. It was fun. It was me, Nick, Joel, Dunkus, and then friends Karen and Pierce. It was a good time, but same kind of thing. Basically everything that Blah echoed. But I'm so used to it now, I don't really see it. Actually, not true. Hardstyle attracts a certain kind of person. I have a problem with anybody that's like too into something. Just like, you know, you can be too into smoking pot. You can be too into any drug. You can be too into music. You can be too into computers. Anybody that's like just becomes their whole world and they're just insufferable. So, for example, like
I totally get what you're saying.
For example, like you guys know where they have the candy, right? And that's like the player thing, right? Peace, love, unity, respect. And you do the whole thing. I don't mind a little bit of that. I'm fine with it. I've been to like 50 plus shows in the last 2 years. I understand it. I don't engage in that.
Scott's
necessarily.
traded some wristbands. I'm sure
I have
he has.
traded
He's
some.
been in
I
a
mean,
few seances.
I never bring any, but I will take from people. But the thing is, like, hardstyle attracts a certain group of people who are very, very rabid, and I don't mind it. But there's some people that have so much like they can't literally move their bodies. Like it's like, you know, those women that wear those things like in Africa where their necks get stretched.
Yep.
It looks like that, but with candy. They're wearing no joke. There was a guy. You guys can't see this if you're listening to the podcast, but there was a guy. I don't know if you can see like out to here from my arm of candy on both sides, all the way up to his shoulder. Couldn't move. Was just walking like this and like walking up to people and seeing if they wanted to trade. And I was like, dude, you can't even give somebody anything because you are literally candy bound. I didn't know that was the thing.
Candy
you have
bound.
so much candy you can't.
I think I remember playing that game. It was like a free-to-play Korean game.
And a lot of them tend to be like the straight edge and whatever. Which is anyway. It's just so those people always kind of, and those are the ones that are doing the hardstyle like shuffle, and that's fine. But they're doing it to the point where it's so dangerous. Like if you catch an elbow from them, you will die. Like it's basically like moshing, but they're just by themselves and they're just spinning around and they're doing it, and it's just. Anyway, so but it was good. It ended up actually being fun. All the DJs were really good. And then last week, I also wanted to mention Sark, Nick, and I after the podcast went and watched Unfriended, and I went in with literally no expectations because I saw the trailer. I was like, this can't be good.
No.
Listen to me. Hear me out on this, okay? And I'm sure some people will totally disagree. I went in expecting nothing. I think the end of the movie was pretty shit. The entire movie. This is the best movie that I've ever seen that in this format. The entire movie takes place in a Skype call.
Yes.
And that may sound like, and that may sound like, how can they pull it off? Me, Sark, and Nick were mesmerized the entire film up until the end. The ending made kind of a bad choice, and I won't spoil anything, I think. But it's actually super impressive and immersive because the editing's really good, and they use all real programs and real websites, and like it's all Mac stuff. But so if you are at all like anybody that uses a computer on a regular basis, they make a they make a lot of really good beats out of stuff like, like the call not picking up, about the ellipses, when you're typing on Skype and you can see that somebody's, and stuff like that. It's really well done. And it's definitely worth it. I don't know if I'd go to theaters to see it, but I was actually really, really impressed. So
Their trailer was just...
Yeah. No, I agree.
It took every little trope and just made it way too exaggerated. Like, I'm logging off. Don't log off. It just sounds so stupid.
I think the trailer did I think the trailer did like a big disservice to it because I went in thinking like this will be like a 2 of 10 at the best. And actually the acting and everything else, it's like once you get past the fact that the actors who are supposed to be in high school look like they're 32, all of them. It actually if you have to suspend your disbelief, but I feel like it's as kind of like realistic as it could be for a movie like that. Like, anyway, check it out. I don't think you'll think I'm crazy. It's called
I'm really shocked to hear anybody say that movie ended up being good because that was one of those movies I was watching the trailer and I was like, there's no fucking way this is going to be.
I thought the same thing. I didn't like how they ended it, but they did some cool stuff with it. They really did.
Okay.
Just the editing alone is worth as far as like being able to keep someone, I think for most people, entertained in basically a static, not just Skype. There's other things like websites, like Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And the detail in the editing is actually really, really impressive. But yeah,
I was from the trailers, I was expecting VHS 3. And VHS 3 is probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life, bar none. It's so bad.
Yeah, we saw that at Sark's. Did we watch that at Sark's?
Yeah, we watched that at Sark's. Yeah,
that was the nightmare. Anyway, so and I still I want to see the Avengers as well. Okay, well if no one else has anything real life related, let's get into our virtual lives, boys. The only life that really matters, where we can be anybody we want. Let's start with Brandon. What have you been? Or did you have something? Sorry, I didn't address you.
No.
Okay.
I didn't have really anything notable this week.
Okay.
But I did. So I finished Grand Theft Auto this week.
Nice.
And just really enjoyed it. It's, I don't know, the single player definitely kept me interested throughout the whole thing. And like Tomb Raider, I was playing Tomb Raider maybe a couple months ago, and I never went back to it because I kind of ended up losing interest before the end. GTA was not that kind of game, so I enjoyed it. But now I'm trying to find a reason to go back and play it. Because I know there's more missions and stuff, but it definitely feels like there's a little less reason to play it after you finish the ending, even though after the end, like, you have a bunch of money and stuff, and you have a lot of freedom. But anyway, so I finished that. Finished the Hearthstone expansion. That was really good too. The last wing was really fun, and so I finished that. But mainly this week, I played a bunch of Killing Floor 2. And I have a second computer that I don't really have anything to do with, and I thought Killing Floor is one of the few games where I feel like you have a lot more fun when you have a group of people to play with and you have a private server, because like Killing Floor can get ruined by someone who joins in the middle of the game, like doesn't talk, isn't a team player, because the game gets a lot harder as you add more people. Yeah. And so like if a guy comes in the middle of the game, right, and you give him some money or something, the game gets harder, but he doesn't have weapons to to actually pull his weight.
Right.
And so that's like some of the only bad times I've had on Killing Floor are like public servers where someone joins and then leaves or whatever, but the wave gets harder. And so a Killing Floor private server is one of the few private servers that like you really want to have fun with the game. So anyway,
Are you telling me you're going to set up a private server for us?
well, no, so I did.
Ooh.
I have basically, I just threw a copy of Windows 10, the technical preview on this other computer. And I was like, I don't have anything to do with it. So here, I'm just going to try and set up a Killing Floor 2 server. And so I spent a little time on that this week, and I put up my own private server. And so we've been playing in that a whole bunch this week. And it's really, really fun, especially because like you can, like Killing Floor 2 has a nice web admin interface. Like it's really polished. There's not obviously it's still not feature complete yet, but like just the game Killing Floor 2 is just such a polished game. It's probably one of the most polished early access games I've ever seen. And I just can't wait for more content.
The core game, unlike, and as I think Jim Sterling said this and many others have echoed the sentiment, like this is what an early access game should be.
Yeah.
What Killing Floor 2 is, where the core game is done. There's nothing else they need to do really with the core game.
Yeah, and I mean like the few bugs and stuff that they have, you know, they bubble up on the subreddit or whatever, but they're all really minor things. It's like people complaining about the bullets being too slow in bullet time, which is kind of fair.
Noticed that.
But it's things like that, like little things that maybe take away from the enjoyment of the game a little bit. Like one thing that I kind of agree with is the way that you get XP in Killing Floor 2. You get XP by tagging Zeds. So you don't have to kill them, but you just have to assist. Even if you get an assist, you get full XP for it. But like if you're a medic, your primary job should be healing the rest of the team, right? But even as a medic, healing doesn't get you a ton of XP, so you still have to be trying to tag all the Zeds that they're killing. And like that's the only way that you can get the XP off of those enemies. So like there's just little like gameplay tweaks that maybe they should make, but the game itself is like really solid. I don't think I've crashed once. It's just like it's an excellent game. It is well worth $30, and basically they're just going to add more content for free. Playing a lot this week, it is one of the prettiest games. The physics are just so good. The physics of this game, like when you're a berserker and you swing, and like your swing actually matches up with what happens on the body, like that's just a really rare thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so used to video games, like you do something, you shoot them in a certain place or whatever, and they just die, like they fall over, and there might be some ragdoll stuff, but it's not I don't know, it doesn't feel completely real. This actually feels close to real. Like the actual stuff that happens is like exactly one-to-one matches up with what you did to the enemy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the engine is so good.
The hit registration is incredible.
yeah.
Oh, it's
they're
godlike,
incredible.
dude.
Yep.
it's yeah.
What Brandon's saying about like when you shoot like the little six-leg crawlers, I guess is actually the name of them. The six-legged dudes with the blades on their back that crawl on the ground, and they're
Crawlers.
eventually going to be crawling on the ceiling and the walls, which they can't yet. They have to put that in still. But when you shoot them with a shotgun, like at where their waist would be, they like rupture there and actually go in half,
Yeah.
and like their back legs are still pedaling a little bit as the front torso keeps going. Like it's crazy detailed.
I don't know how many games are able to pull this off, but like the stalkers, you know, they have like capoeira movements that were mocapped, and sometimes it does a cartwheel flip. If you headshot it in the middle of that animation, it'll count as a headshot. And that kind of registration over servers and actually getting the head to blow off while it's mid animation upside down, I just don't know many games that have ever done that. And it's just a nice little tick to put into the game. Just adds a whole lot more to it.
That's why I actually sent a really heartfelt email to Tripwire, and I know we have CS:GO really, doesn't really need any help. CS is kind of at the forefront right now for gaming. But I said, please redo Counter-Strike Source in this engine, and I haven't heard back. But I'm hearing that the registration's so good. It's just I would love to. I'd love to see it. So we'll see. Maybe they'll get back. I mean, I don't think they're. I feel like the game's pretty polished at this point, so they probably don't have much else to do. So I think probably kind of making a Counter-Strike source in what are they on Unreal?
They're on an Unreal Engine version of 3 that they've upgraded
call it
themselves.
3.7 because it's like got a bunch of features from 4 in it.
Okay.
But it's still core Unreal 3.
Yeah.
But Brandon, what class have you been playing mostly, or been skipping around?
I've been playing my highest leveled class so far is Berserker, because Berserker is just Berserker is like it's one of the best classes to take on the Skrakes and Flesh Pounds, basically the main enemies from the waves, and so I've been playing that a lot. But I also like the medic class, which is like pretty necessary for a group of 2, like 2 or 3 or more. You basically need at least 1 medic. So, and you probably need at least 1 berserker. Like those 2 classes out of the 4 sort of feel like the requirements, and the other ones are just like more useful. But I don't know. The game will change a lot once they actually have all of the classes in.
Yes.
Like Berserker, I feel like is just the most. It's just the most visceral, because you're literally using like a shovel or a hammer to kill these Zeds. And
also, that alt
it's just the
fire on
best
that
feeling.
pulverizer with a shotgun shell that just blasts into people's heads.
It's
really
just
nice.
it is just like it's sort of just what defines killing floor for me, because the moves that you make just match up with exactly what happens to the enemies. So I've been really enjoying that, and the cool thing is like ratcheting up the difficulty on the waves. I didn't realize this until I started playing it. With each difficulty, the zombies have more moves, and so like the big bloats, the large guys that vomit on you, in the higher difficulties, they run at you, and like so they get different moves and become faster and like more evasive as the difficulty ratchets up. Yeah. So it's been actually fun to play the higher difficulties that you have no chance of beating the boss on, because the boss is just insanely difficult on any difficulty. But like the waves get so much harder that it's almost more fun of a challenge to try and see how far you get just in the waves, knowing you will definitely fail, but just sort of like seeing how far you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's that. Like,
so
Killing
my
Floor
only
2 has just been so much fun.
Yeah, my only question, the thing, because I stopped, man, I haven't played early access at all. I only played the beta or whatever. Is are they still the same? Have they added any new classes or anything yet? Or is
No,
it
it's still the
beta?
same as
Okay,
before.
so
Same
it's still
content.
okay.
More
yeah,
polished
so-
than the beta.
More polished.
in various.
But they have
ways,
already
but-
dropped like 2
Yeah.
patches, so they've been fixing like some bugs and stuff, but they haven't actually released any new content.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I gotta jump back in there. And now that I didn't know you had, you were asking to play the other night. Did you have the server when you were asking to play? Because if I knew that, I probably would have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's the best thing is that like the ping doesn't matter, so that's why like it doesn't really matter where the server is hosted, and obviously I don't have like crazy internet or anything, so people on the East Coast would lag, but like you can just toss up a server pretty much anywhere, because even if you're pinging 100 plus, it's like the reg is still fine, everything feels fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone who wants to play, man, I've just been hanging out in the KBMOD Bumble playing pretty much each night.
Yeah.
Alright.
We played with Tomb, and he had no problems. So as far
Yeah.
as the lag, so
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me.
Sweet. Alrighty. John, what about you? What you been playing?
Just CS and Dota.
Nice.
dope.
CS is where it's at right now. A little bit of Dota on the side whenever I'm angry.
When you're angry, you go to
See,
Dota. That doesn't
exactly. That should tell you how frustrating Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
can
that's
be.
true. That's a good
And
point.
whenever it's like I'm gonna go relax and have a nice game of Dota,
Well, I mean,
that is a
I've been-
statement that nobody has ever made before.
Yeah. No.
I've been seeing you play with anger, and I'm like, oh, John's playing at that level right now. Okay, I mean, I'm sure that's pretty frustrating if you're getting pooped on by people that are, like pro
Well,
level.
It depends. It depends on the map. So like
Yeah.
I can hang on pretty much everything but overpassed and or overpass and cobblestone. Mirage, I'm a little bit shitty because I tend to overpeak, but every other map I can hang. I mean, it's like it's not that individual players are. I mean, they are far more skilled than me, but it's not like this astronomical amount. It's the way they play together as a team that makes them really good. So like aim is aim. If you click on people's heads, they're going to die.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's definitely an easy way to get better. Is
What
just
John
play
is saying
ESC
is
with
that
people.
that pro CS:GO players, they're all a bunch of bitches. It's an easy game.
No,
Serious
I'm saying that their team play is what makes them ungodly.
No, that's absolutely true, and that's the other thing. Well, anyway, I could talk about this real quickly, but it was funny watching some of the Face It stuff and hearing the casters talk about how a lot of pro players won't even fuck. They will never play matchmaking because they feel like ranked matchmaking in this game is harder. Is way harder than actually playing. Like ESCA, you know what I mean, or actually playing.
It's harder to
because
perform well consistently, for sure.
Consistently, yeah, because people do crazy shit, man.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
time I'm
that's-
playing matchmaking, I'm just like, this guy just crouch walk with an op through his smoke. Like I don't have a category for it, and then
And
I
that's-
die because I'm not looking for
When,
it. Like
when
it
I
happens
did
a lot.
when I did play comp, like not that I'm any good at all, but like the thing that we would get most frustrated about, like if I was playing with Dale Z or you or
Yeah.
or Sky Shark or whoever, the thing that people would get most frustrated about would be like, why is that guy there? Like that would be like the one excuse you heard more
Yeah.
than anything else. It's like, why is that guy there? Why would he even be watching that spot? Because people are so random in matchmaking.
People do play a lot
whereas-
more, yeah. they're just
Whereas
crazily
pros,
in general.
the pros, when they play other pros, know pretty much know exactly where people
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Like because that's where people play that map.
And it's
at
not,
that level,
and people,
you know?
and it's funny because people will be like, you'll hear me go like, "That's so fucking stupid," and then people in the chat will be like, "But it worked." I'm like, that does not change the fact that was the dumbest.
Should
like
not have
that
been
will
there
work
at all.
one
It was just
time,
a
like,
dumb chance play that ended
That'll-
up working
yeah.
out for them that one time.
it'll work like
yeah.
once out of like 100 times, and it just happens
It's like
to
that
work.
guy at the
but it doesn't
blackjack
make it
table
good.
that hits on like an 18
Yeah.
or 19, and it
So-
works one time, and you're like,
like, it
no,
doesn't make it
no,
good.
that's an objectively bad play.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same thing with fighting games. It's the same thing with fighting games.
Fucking a nightmare sometimes. But okay, well, that's good. What about you, Blah? What have you been playing?
Played a bit of the Hearthstone expansion. Haven't finished Heroic yet.
Is this the last wing, Black Wing?
It is the last wing, so this expansion's like pretty much done. I unlocked all the cards, and they're all fun. Pretty much like, congratulations, Paladins. You're back on the board, probably. I don't know. That might not be true. But let's see. I finished Bloodborne, and I won't spoil anything, but I beat all the bosses, which
Oh,
it's
wow. Okay.
very possible to not beat all the bosses.
I
We'll just
missed like 6
put it that
of
way.
them, so
Yeah, there's like when you beat the game, you kind of go back and wiki. I was like getting towards the end of the game, like I was streaming it for a little bit, and somebody was like, "All right." They're like, "I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you continue down this area, you're pretty much going to be at the end of the game." So I was like, "Okay, so I know I'm close." So I went and I wikied all the like a boss list, and I was like, "There's a shitload of dudes." So I looked far enough into the wiki to find out where those bosses were, and then just went along and fully explored everything and found all the items and did a bunch of chalice dungeons too. I didn't do like all of the chalice dungeons. That's like stupid and
I
grindy.
haven't
So
touched those yet.
they're not super fun, but you can get like a pretty good weapon out of them, and that's like almost exclusively from there. I think you can maybe find them in New Game Plus or something. But so once that was done, today I started streaming a theme run of Dark Souls 2,
Scholars.
Scholar whatever, Scholar stuff. That long ass Scholar of the First Sin. That's it. So I decided I wanted to not only try the new Dark Souls reboot or whatever you want to call it, but I also wanted to do a themed run. Kind of give myself a little extra challenge, limit the amount of equipment that I can use in the game. So I decided to go with a theme run where I'm basically playing like a rogue.
Like a WoW rogue?
Like a WoW rogue, like a rogue or a thief. And so the rules are I cannot use any shields. I cannot use any heavy armor. I can only use like leather armor, like stuff that it looks like a rogue would use.
Okay.
My main hand can only ever have a dagger or a bow.
Oh God.
And my offhand can only have a
That's painful.
dagger, a curved sword, a katana, a whip. Basically any like agility kind of weapon that's like one-handed and
Have you ever
small.
used the whips before? You can't
No.
get one till kind of late, but whips are.
You can get one
awesome.
early.
Oh, can you?
I found one early. There's one in Forest of the Fallen Giants on that one building. After you go to the right, you fight through all the skeletons. There are skeletons there now. It used to be just hollows.
Yeah.
You fight through the skeletons, and then there's like a bunch of the turtle knights on top of
Yes,
there's
okay.
like 3 turtle knights on
Alright.
top of a fort. Right there's a whip.
Huh. Okay.
There used to not be.
Well, whips ignore armor, which is awesome.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to be useful. But I fully plan on keeping something that can parry in my left hand because that's going to be like my best bet for defense. And especially like if I can't parry, I am not killing Pursuer like ever.
No.
So I need something that can parry definitely. No spells, and I think that's it. And then anything else that I'm like not too sure about, I'm gonna leave the vote to the committee because I'm gonna be streaming the whole thing, so everybody can straw poll for me.
Yeah. That's such
and
a
so
popular
far,
thing to do.
yeah,
Good call.
yeah. So far the things I voted on is like magic arrows ? And that was a resounding yes. And can I use the mail piercer, which is a thrusting sword? And everybody said yes because it looked nice and roguey. Looks like something
It's
like a rogue
sai.
would use.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it looked like something like a
Raphael
ninja ass thing. So it's like a very mobile skill based build. Like you really have to be on point with your dodges and your parries. You can't just like tank stuff. You can't really cheese stuff as easy. And obviously the lack of heavy armor is going to be a challenge, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be totally doable. Killing the last giant with daggers, it took forever, but it was still like stupid easy. That boss is ridiculously easy.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know if you felt this way, but I think they nerfed the boss health in this version.
they might
That's
have.
what I felt. Like they were
I-
even easier.
It's hard for me to tell when I'm doing like 20 damage a hit.
Yeah, you're
But it's-
you're hamstrung a bit.
Yeah, it's totally possible though. I can't really say, but I'm really enjoying the run so far. I'm really liking the whole theme. I decided to go with a female character. Her name is Big Dick Susan.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is joining my other
name.
Souls characters' names. Everybody seems to like. I've had Big Dick Susan right now. I've had Punch Friend, who was my Punch only character.
Friend.
Punch Friend was a
Goes to
boss.
Donut
That's like Donut
Friend
Friends.
often.
Did you channel Donut Friends title? for that?
Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it made me think of. Shitty Jackson, my Bloodborne character,
Oh,
and now
shit.
Big Dick Susan. So
That's good.
she's a fucking rock star. I like her a lot. And it's about. I think it's about it. I forgot to talk about last week. I played some more Dirty Bomb, and I think I finally decided I just don't like that game.
What's
It's
the
just
reason?
I haven't even given it a chance.
like it's
I just-
worth playing
yeah.
for a little bit. I feel like the gameplay is like super limited. Like after playing it, like let me check on Steam real quick how long I've played it, but it hasn't really been that long, especially compared to like TF2 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like let's see, Dirty Bomb. I played 17 hours and I'm already bored of it. Like that's not a
not
lot
good.
of time.
Yeah, for a multiplayer game, that's
Yeah.
not. No.
Yeah, and I was kind of frustrated. Like, so I think it gets repetitive because there's only maybe like 5 or 6 maps in the game, and it's always the same thing. You're either attacking or defending, which changes it a little bit, but it's always the same thing. It never really feels like you can carry a team. It often feels like a lot of objective based shooters have this problem where it always feels like the game was super weighted against one of the teams. Like one team just gets fucking stomped pretty much every time. Not every now and then you have a close game. For the most part, people are getting stomped. It's funny because like the shooting mechanics are tight. It's responsive. It's overall like a pretty solid game, but for some reason it just got super boring really fast. And one thing that was really frustrating to me was like we talked earlier about like the loadouts and how we're not too sure about that, and I myself also really don't like that system. But I kind of was like, all right, fine, I'll play your game. So I spent all the in-game currency I had just trading up contracts, doing case openings and all this shit. Yeah, they use the exact same terminology, by the way, as Counter-Strike. And so I spent all my money doing that, and then like a week later they came out with a new character. And the new character costs either $10, fucking 10 real dollars, or like 50K in-game currency when I had 0 currency. And you can get, I think it's like 600 times 3, so 1,800 a day, plus you get maybe like 100 to 200 of the in-game currency every match. So say I played like 5 matches a day, it would still take me like a month to get that character and not pay for it. That's pretty fucking absurd.
Yeah.
And on top of that,
Yeah.
so whoever's naming the characters in this fucking game needs to just like get his shit together, because there's one character who his special ability is that he throws frag grenades. Most characters don't have grenades.
Yeah.
His name is Fragger, and they just added a new chick who has a grenade launcher. Her name is Nader. Like she's like fucking Ralph Nader. Like she is her like Fragger and Nader. Like are you
Nader's daughter?
Some of them are okay. I feel like Sawbones is kind of lame, but that's okay.
It's almost like they just took whatever they wrote on the whiteboard as they were conceptualizing the character, and then just went with that.
It's like every single one is like that character's like working project name. You know, I feel like if the GameCube came out, it was still called the Dolphin.
It feels like the classic, almost like the classic mistake of a free-to-play game that wants to endear you to the characters. I feel like you look at Overwatch. Overwatch is actually creating a story around each of these characters, and like you're going to want to buy figurines, like what they sort of come to life. Like with names like that, it's like you're just not going to get invested in them because they feel just completely generic.
It's really bad, and like. And if you read their backstories, they're all like the same generic shit. It's like, this dude was in the army, but then he got discharged from the army. So then he got into this special mercenary. And it's like every single one is like that.
I almost wish with a game like that they would just not even bother with backstory. Be like, these are just fucking characters in a fucking. We don't need to make a world.
It's like a 2-paragraph thing next to their guy. They don't do
You look at TF2.
Look at TF2.
Yeah, that's
Spy,
true. TF2 is
Spy, Pyro,
really good example.
Heavy.
People are so endeared to those characters. There's so much of a community just surrounding the story of that game, or not even the story so much as just like the in-game characters. People have their own idea of like what Heavy is like in their heads. And then they further extended that with like the comics. But even before the comics and the shorts, they had this great community, people creating this stuff for themselves because the characters just had so much intrinsic personality, even if it wasn't expressly or explicitly explored. Whereas this game just feels like they're tacking on like a character bio because they feel like they need to. And I honestly feel like it'd be better if they didn't, because they're just not good at it. And these characters are just super boring, super generic. They have like decent voice actors and all that, but the names suck, the stories suck, and I don't see it going anywhere. It's almost like just that we have to have a story, so we have a story, which is like a really old way of thinking about game design, because you don't need a story anymore. If you're going to be a purely multiplayer thing, then fucking feel free to run without a story if that's not your strong point. But if you're going to do it, then it's got to be subtle and it's got to be good.
Dude, you know what that makes me think of? Makes me think of Brink.
Exactly.
Made by the same people. That's
a good
they
point.
kind of had like that multiplayer cross with this single player story.
But the thing is, Brink. The thing is that that wasn't the downfall of Brink.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
That's
like,
the point. Is like Brink was fine. No one remembers the characters, but like that's okay. It's all right. You don't have to have a story.
Brink, I think, had enough emphasis on the story. The problem was they had this weird. That was actually more of like a way the game was set up. It fucked up the matchmaking doing that, because they had this weird short story arc for the one faction and a weird short story arc for the other faction, but those missions in the story arcs were the multiplayer missions you played. Like instead of maps, you had certain missions that you played in the same story over and over, which makes no fucking sense. But that wasn't the problem. Wasn't that the game didn't have a lot of personality? It was the fact that they tried to work that into the way multiplayer matchmaking worked, and they got rid of that aspect, which is good. But at the same time, it's still super generic characters, not a lot of fun.
I'll have to I want to give it another try. The problem is, this is like, I don't know. I don't know if there's enough of a pull for me to like. I played that game a bunch before it was out, like at conventions and stuff like that. I feel like 2 years ago. We've been talking about this game for a while, right? It changed names, Dirty Bomb, didn't it? Didn't have a different title before?
Yeah, it was Dirty Bomb, and then it went to Extraction, and then back to Dirty Bomb,
that's right. It's just like, I remember the gameplay being like, it's kind of fun, but I don't know enough to. And especially with like Counter-Strike actually not being fucking dog shit anymore. It's like I don't really want to give my time to another shooter.
Plus the free to play.
There's no reason not to play Counter-Strike over this.
The free to play scheme, as Blah and Brandon both detailed now, not the best.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
All right.
All right. What about Dan?
I also played some more Dark Souls 2 after last week. Like that, I played like 18 hours in 2 days. So then, but then I've been into the DLC for the first. Well, not the first time, but I went to Crown of the Old Iron King, which is, I guess, the second one that came out. I guess, sort of.
Was it? I think it was the second one. Yeah.
It's not the snow one and not the poison one. It's the other one.
I hated the poison one.
But it's really hard. Another new sub, Brandon Bull. Thank you. It's really, really hard. Like the DLC is how Dark Souls 1 felt to me, as far as just inaccessibility and there were certain situations where I came to the room and like it would be where you could look down on the enemies you're going to have to fight. Like you could see them from where you were. And I was just like, fuck this. Like what am I supposed to do here? This is like an impossible situation. And then there's always some little trick, as Dark Souls loves to do, to get past a room that looks almost impossible to do. But I don't know. I like Scholar of the First Sin a lot. I also played a bunch of NHL 15 this week. I kind of got back into that.
Oh yeah, you have. It's been a while since you.
Yeah, I hadn't played it for a couple months.
So.
I continued the GM mode I've had going. We're in the Stanley Cup Finals with Buffalo, which is a completely unrealistic scenario in real life if you follow hockey. But Buffalo finished dead last this year in real life. So we're in year 3. We won the cup in the first year, back in the cup final this year. And I finally found like settings that feel really good again in that game. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun with that. I just love streaming that. It's kind of a double-edged sword to stream that game in that I have a ton of knowledge that I can pull on while streaming it, like to talk about hockey and but it doesn't have it has a very, very small viewer base, like very small. And I have had people that come by, like I have Australian viewers who are like, I love watching this. Like I have no idea what's happening, but I love watching it. So I'm here to watch it. But it's just such a small, like I follow, you can follow games on Twitch. Like NHL rarely is over 100 people, like at any given time. So it's a really small base. Plus I do GM mode, which is not what people want to watch in general. People want to see online. So, but the online sucks. It feels like you're playing hockey in mud, which is which is not the way the game should feel. So I'm just looking forward to NHL 16 in that. NHL 15, what they did was made the best possible hockey. Like the hockey itself is great, and then took all the other features out in order to get the game out on time for PS4 and Xbox One. So I'm hoping with 16 that they kind of undo all that and just put out a full featured game for next gen. And hopefully they just put out some piece of shit for 360 and PS3. Sorry, old gen people.
Wow,
but they should really not give you the time of day this time around.
I think that's pretty safe. And on this podcast, I think it's pretty safe to shit on people that only have an Xbox 360 because I'm guessing they're probably not listening to the podcast, to be honest.
Like, because the way they did NHL 15 for previous gen, it was NHL 14 with a new coat of paint. Like, quite literally, they did nothing to improve on it. But the 15 for next gen, the hockey was amazing and everything else sucked. Because the NHL 15 on old consoles is actually probably better overall.
It's like everybody who does those yearly iterations of sports and sports-like games just kind of, it's almost like they canoodled together on like releasing these dumbed-down versions on the previous gen consoles and then only putting work into the new ones.
They put out a statement basically saying we didn't have enough time. Like EA didn't give us enough time to put out.
I mean, I think that's what happened with NBA. It's what happened with WWE as well. Just like really dumbed down versions.
Like a month after the game came out, they patched in entire game modes. Like
Jesus.
So the game is now pretty feature complete. 8 months later. Like it was never broken or anything, but it was just kind of like it was missing entire modes, like 5v5 online. Like you couldn't play with 5 friends online against 5 other people, which was like a key thing in the older games. That just wasn't there, didn't exist. And then they patched it in finally. So I'm hoping NHL 16 they put out a full game on release. That would be nice. What else did I play? I played a bunch of Isaac as well, and I'm still grinding away at playing Dalsim on Street Fighter and just getting destroyed online. But it's so weird because, like we were talking about with CSGO, people specifically on PC, because in PC, Street Fighter is like the lower tier version, kind of. Because the console, like if you really are playing Street Fighter competitively, you're playing on 360. Most likely. So the PC version, people play like ultra aggressive. Like it's very odd. They do shit that they would not do on if you were playing on console. So you get a lot of people that just go completely nuts on you, and it's like we were saying with CS:GO. Why is that guy crab walking with an AWP through snow?
No,
like,
I was just going to use that same thing. Yeah.
It's the same
What's the equivalent in
concept.
Street Fighter? Hit me with like a why would
just
you ever
like,
play like
they'll
that?
just
How
be
aggressive they play?
They'll just become super aggressive when they probably shouldn't be. And some people you can destroy them because of that, even if they're better than you and they know, I am very bad at Street Fighter. I'm the first person to admit that. But there are people where I'm just like, what is happening? What are you doing? And then you can tell the really good people when you play them because they methodically get around everything you do. The real aggressive people just jump into your shit. They don't care. So sometimes it's a lot harder. So, also I got a Black Ops 3 beta key. So I'm in the Black Ops 3 beta.
Oh god. When is that supposed to
let
happen?
me know how that is.
I will let you know.
Because I won't be buying it no matter how good it is. But still, let me know.
Really,
Yeah, I'll let
Scott?
you know.
Really?
Sham, I just can't. I don't think I can do it. Even if, dude, are you going to tell me you're going to stop playing Counter-Strike to play COD, or are we going to do it in tandem?
I mean, that is a good point because
on.
Advanced Warfare came out as I started playing Call of Duty.
Well,
as I started playing Call of Duty, as I started playing Counter-Strike. So I only put 20 hours into Advanced Warfare's multiplayer. I enjoyed what I played for what it was, but maybe I don't think so.
Never. I don't know.
Might
Maybe
not drag
Sham
me
can
away.
convince me to play. I mean, if enough people get it,
Because I know that I'll only play it for a couple of weeks to get the brain dead stupidity out of the way, and then
that's
move
what I
on.
mean. Like it's going to be
tired of it.
$60, and I'm not going to play it for more than like 20 hours.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll try it. I'll give the beta.
Not that it's going to be a bad game or whatever. I'm just shitting on Call of Duty. It's not Call of Duty. It's not my flavor anymore. I mean, I know I came from an aggressive sniping upbringing, but it's different now.
I have one question before I stop. Blah, what did you think of which ending did you get in Bloodborne without being overly like
the super optional one?
Did you eat the stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ate the stuff.
Okay, all right. I would like to fight that boss someday, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's not too hard.
Something exciting did happen to me this week. I forgot to tell you. About 5 minutes ago, my wife knocked on my office door and said that she made me brownies. That's really fucking exciting.
Man, I love
That's
really
where I've been for the last 5 or 10 minutes is eating half of the brownies that she made.
Oh, but that is.
Do you guys ever like make brownies and just eat it straight out of the pan that you cooked it in?
That's what I
Because you're
just
the
did.
only
Yeah.
people there, and there's no
Yeah.
reason to cut it up and put it on a plate. So just eat it out of
And
the
I
pan.
don't even like make straight cuts. I'm like, yeah, it looks like I feel like I could probably eat 7/10 of this brownie. So let me just cut that out. And just like take like a crooked square, and I don't fucking care.
All right.
All right, Sham, did you go? Did I ask?
Okay,
No,
so
Shan didn't go yet.
I'll
We've
I
been
didn't
going
go
for
yet.
a
I'll be
while,
quick
man.
about it.
We have
So I had been playing Killing Floor. I played a lot of the preview beta, and then I played for about 5 to 6 hours after it came out in early access. But I've stopped myself because I know that resets are going to happen to stats, and I don't want to burn myself out on leveling characters and playing.
Have they said they're
The
going to
same-
reset?
Yeah, it's on the early access page.
Really?
It's almost.
Oh.
It says it's almost certain we will wipe progress one or more times during the early access stage. So I mean, they did it after the preview beta. I knew that was going to happen.
Leveling's
so I had
not
to
that
start
bad,
leveling
though,
up
so-
I'll
again.
be so mad.
It's
if
not
they
terrible.
Do.
It's just that at the moment, with only 4 perks and 3 maps and 1 game
Yeah.
type, it's like I don't want to burn myself out. I've put over 20 hours into it already. I think I've gotten my fill of what's there. I absolutely love that game. I don't want to ruin the experience for myself, so I'm giving it time to release more
I
content
think
before
I'm
I
going to
play
just
it.
have to bank on the fact that they hopefully don't wipe it.
Yeah. I mean, it says almost certain. It doesn't say absolutely. So
I feel
who
like
knows?
there's like
Maybe
the
they'll keep it
subreddit would
around.
just explode if they just
Yeah.
decided to out of nowhere. Like it
Yeah.
seems, I guess it seems complete enough to me that I don't know why they would need to, because they have new classes coming out and clearly no one's going to be leveled in the new stuff.
Right.
I don't know. Hopefully they don't, because I've already put a bunch of time into it.
But I finished Grand Theft Auto 5 for my second time on the PC version is when I beat it for the second time. I've got like 40 hours on it now between online and single player. Really enjoyed it the second time around, especially since they like added things to the radio. I mean, I think even the radio shows got additional segments to them because I heard stuff that I didn't quite recognize before from my first playthrough. So that was I absolutely love driving in a car and listening to the talk radio shows. They're probably my favorite thing that's in that game, especially Chakra Attack. It's fucking phenomenal writing, and I think it's JB Smoove, right, that does the voice acting for that. Did a really good job with that character. But I've been trying to unlock all of the director mode stuff because you have to play through the story and do unlocks to get all of the characters to be able to use them.
Yeah.
Still haven't come up with any decent ideas to go for an editing project yet, but I'm trying to nail something down. But I just figured I would unlock as many characters as possible, so I did that. And of course, Counter-Strike is the love of my life at the moment. I've put way too many hours into this game the past few weeks. I DM all the time. I practice nades. I play.
Sham, I have to say, now Sham and I have been. We started this thing even on my stream the other day where someone said that we should have an AMA with Sham, and then we just started exchanging like why we started saying like I like Sham because, and then Sham would say something positive about me, and it was just like we had this like real emotional response. But I have to say though, seriously, in this game, I have watched Sham go from fuck in Sham, what are you doing, to like. Damn, Sham, that was like a good round or a good clutch. I'm telling you, Sham has improved. Like, I think people. I know you're having issues with streaming right now, but I know you'll be back at some point.
Oh yeah, I will absolutely.
Yeah, you've improved like so much at this game. It's actually
after the vac waves, just the general sense.
The game is a lot easier because
has definitely gotten like I went from DMG to LEM in a matter of a week or two.
Wow.
So my goal now is to try to get to Supreme off of a few more wins and see if I can hold that after the vac waves cool out and the ranks start normalizing themselves again. If I can keep myself up there and keep practicing to stay at that level, then I'll be happy with myself. Because I kind of have inklings of wanting to play this game competitively at some point. I want to give myself more time, but then play like an ESEA Open and see how that goes. Because I have some years. I mean, people always retire from FPS games by the time they're like 27 or 28. But I mean, with something like Counter-Strike, it's definitely not like all reaction time. There's so much more involved in that game that anybody, no matter how old they are, as long as they're dedicated to knowing every facet of the game, they can probably play it competently. Yeah. So I don't have any fears about being 25 and just now getting into competitive Counter-Strike. It's like, if I just put the time into it, I'm sure I can be decent enough to at least compete at some level. So maybe I'll try that at some point. But, I've been putting way too many hours into it. I'm going to keep playing it. It's my favorite game ever now. It is absolutely top. It's the first Counter-Strike I've ever played, and I'm completely stuck in it. Nothing holds on to me more than this game right now. It's incredible.
It's very addictive.
Cool.
And I'll go real quick. I'll just mostly just this week, mostly just Counter-Strike with Sham, almost pretty much every day. Same thing. I'm up to Supreme. The dream is global, and I don't know.
We've been trying.
We've been trying. We've been winning a lot, to be honest. We've been winning since the van waves. We've been playing matchmaking.
So they caught a lot of people.
They did like 5 or 6 vac waves in a week. I mean, they got rid of a lot of people.
And also, I think I think a lot of the games that I had were overturned because my MMR, or whatever the hidden one is, was super high. So I was like, I lost 2 games when I came back and then won 1 game and then ranked up to like LEM. And then after that, it was a few games. And then I ranked to Supreme off of a tie. So anyway, I think it will normalize at some point. But I will say that the ranked matchmaking is so much better. It's honestly night and day. For the most part, I've only had one remote game where I was like, man, maybe they're cheating. And then at the end of it, I realized that I was just frustrated because I was getting shit on, and they actually weren't cheating. So that's refreshing. I mean, it's fun. I know people are like, man, ranked rank doesn't matter and all that kind of stuff. And you know what, whatever, that's fine. I mean, to an extent, if you're a pro player, ranked matchmaking doesn't matter at all for you. But if you are someone that wants to kind of see improvement, it can be echoed, especially if you're coming, from somewhere like silver and working your way up. And anyway, it's fun. It's fun again, and that's exciting because, MM was just was a nightmare. So,
all right.
I guess it for me.
All right, 2-minute commercial break. If you don't want to see commercials on this channel anymore, as we went insane amount of time on games there, holy shit.
Good.
If you don't want to see commercials on this channel anymore, consider subscribing. Just look at those beautiful emotes, $4.99 a month, and we'll see you in a couple minutes.
The other
hour
thing-
and 10 minutes on video games.
Really?
dude.
Was that for
Yeah.
the whole thing? It was good. Hey, listen.
Well, not just video games, live stuff too, but yeah.
people had shit to show.
We
this
play
week.
games.
Yeah,
The other
we
thing I
played
was
a
going to
game.
say
Played a game.
that has improved my CS game like tenfold, beyond just taking a break for a month. I know I said this last week. 144 hertz monitor. What the fuck have I been doing? I'm so
Yeah.
upset. I could have even gone 120. Like I've been handy. There are no words to describe. Like I feel it's like I was blind and now I see. Not to get super religious about it, but seriously, like it is so fucking smooth. And even when streaming, that I really just I can never use it as an excuse. Like if I'm not hitting my shots, it's nothing to do with my setup or my system or anything. It is me, and it makes the game so much easier. It's hard to explain. People are like, can you play the game at 60 hertz? It's like absolutely, you can play the game, but you can't play it as well. I mean, to an extent, I feel like it's so different. And anyway, you guys were all right, and I'm an idiot. So I'll just accept it. It really does.
That's something that I need to do too.
I'm telling you, Shem. I
Absolutely.
think it'll be. Yeah.
I mean, it's like when I went to Extra
crazy.
Life and we played on that the LAN server for CS:GO, and just like the feeling
dude.
of shooting somebody on LAN.
It's
and
unreal.
How
Yeah.
incredible!
It's crazy. Yeah,
I
on
went
land.
nuts in that LAN game.
It's nutty. It makes such a big difference.
Just like, yeah, it was huge.
The thing was like I didn't want to spend like $400 on a monitor like that for some reason. That was like my, and I know you could get like, but I got my 144 hertz for like $200 on sale, and it gets the job done. So
Sweet.
that was like the
Yeah,
most
you
I was
can-
willing
You can
to
get
spend.
them for so cheap now that it's like if you play FPSs,
It's
you
so
might
worth
as
it.
well because
Yeah.
they don't cost that much more than a good 60 hertz.
Unless you
Yeah, it's like the
You
only
can
thing
have
holding
nice
me back is
free setup right around here, like I do.
Oh god, yeah.
my stream setup is the only thing that complicates it because I use a capture card, so I'd have to mirror my monitor
Yeah,
to the capture
yeah.
card and do that. So
why I'm
that's the
not
only thing that
gonna-
I haven't done
I'm
yet.
not gonna do it, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
all right, news quickly through the news here. Sorry, we have to go quickly through it. Have to keep this under 2 hours if possible.
Yeah,
Mainly
we're at
'cause I'm-
138. Holy shit.
Mainly because I'm lazy and I don't want to render it.
Yeah. Let's go.
The April build guides came out. We're not going to really discuss them because we have a whole other podcast that you can go watch about hardware and PC building. So you should go watch that. It's on our YouTube channel. It's on KBMOD.com. The April build guides came out on Tuesday with guest Shannon from Thermal Take. Bob and the boys went for nearly 2 hours. I said, yo, guys, keep it limited to an hour. And I look, and it was an hour and 46 minutes. So if you like hardware talk, if you like PC building, definitely go there for that. They had tons and tons of good info, tons of good overclocking information. So you can go check that out on the webpage. They did a super good job. We found something Bob can do right, so that's a good thing.
No, let's not go that far.
That's not nice to say.
Damn. I like how it was a backhanded compliment, and then Brandon wouldn't even give him that. He's
Yeah,
like,
Brandon
no,
wouldn't give it that. So, in other news, it doesn't involve KBMOD.
Oh yeah,
Valve.
this is
So
huge
last
news.
week, this was our big news thing, was Valve allowing paid mods for the Skyrim workshop. Well, Reddit, you did it. Valve has reversed their paid
You know what,
mods
Reddit,
decision.
you really did do it this time. I
Yeah.
think it really was the Reddit AMA and the
I,
downvoting of Gaben, man. I think they were like, we can't have this.
That's what I titled my morning post the day that came out. I said,
Yeah.
we
We
did
did
it,
it, Reddit.
We did it, yeah.
So they put out a little post here. They turned it off. Everyone gets refunds from the paid mods.
Mm-hmm.
The best part here, we've done this. We've done this. Reverse their decision because it's clear we didn't understand exactly what we were doing.
No, at least they took the fault for it.
Yeah, they
yeah,
just
they
were
took the
like, we
fall.
didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Which is so refreshing.
I mean, which is weird for me because they already have the perfect setup for community creators to get
Yeah.
paid, and that's through curation through their games and having it officially put into the game like they do with maps for CS:GO, maps for TF2, Dota 2 items, CS:GO skins, TF2. Like they have this
Yeah,
entire
there is
setup around
experience.
3 games that people get millions of dollars worth of revenue from. And they completely botched the way that they released this. It was incredibly bad.
Yeah, that was the main thing, and the communication of it was non-existent. But they said they just wanted to give modders a way to make money, like modders get to do in the games that we just mentioned, TF2 and Counter Strike. And
yeah.
we underestimated the differences between our previous successful revenue sharing models and the addition of paid mods to Skyrim's Workshop. Yes, you did. I for one was one of the people who was for this, by the way, before it was removed.
Yeah, I am for it
But-
in some respect. It's just got to be completely different in the implementation.
Yeah,
I mean, like a
so-
couple of other games even do what Valve does, like Torn Banner with Chivalry. They do the same thing where the community creates items and they sell those items, and those people get money that way. It's like either you've got to have it in the game, or there needs to be some kind of extension of the way that their curator page works to where like modders can have their own, I would say, like a storefront for their modding, and maybe have some kind of just support button that's just a general donation to that modder.
And that would help.
For doing what they do. So either like a donation where like your money's not tied to a mod that could possibly break and never get fixed again. That just sticks with people and makes them not trust the system and never want to buy somebody's mod. They're not going to do it. Also trying to avoid the idea of somebody stealing somebody else's mod and putting it up for a profit and trying to circumvent some kind of DMCA claim. Just in general, the dumb shit that could come from just putting whatever number onto some skin that's in a game or some random mod that who fucking knows if it's going to work.
I think like the statement that Valve released is why Valve keeps so much goodwill, because you read over it and you're like, this is just a straight up honest answer.
When they
It's
do
like-
communicate, they do it well, but
Yeah.
they don't communicate enough, and that's the problem.
Right. But I mean, like, they did full mea culpa for this and basically were like, hey, we didn't foresee all of these different problems. Sorry. Like, we'll take it back to the drawing board and potentially release it later down the line in some form. But I'm glad they did this, because they're clearly, like, whether you're for it or not, clearly there were some significant issues in the way that they released it, and even the people that like were for it weren't for the implementation the way that it was. They were just like, this seems like a good idea, but then there were still all these caveats. And the funny thing was, this was actually like right after Bethesda posted a blog post sort of outlining like why they did it and all of that, and then literally like right after they posted that, they posted this on the Valve blog, and they updated their blog post saying, like all the stuff below, actually we just decided to remove it.
So,
and it's what I've always said. We can move on to the next thing real quick, but I've always said the internet can be a fickle motherfucker, but the one thing the internet always appreciates is a good apology. Always.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
people
are
will
even
forgive
upset
you.
about Valve's curation. Like there was that little controversy that happened with the CS:GO sticker set that was just recently released. That was like mainly Enfu, the artist behind that, and like people were complaining that he was getting favoritism by the Valve employees and having his stickers put in. They released an explanation about that too, and then everybody's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." It's like everybody's so overreactive and stupid on Reddit. It's fucking obnoxious every time something like this happens.
Yeah, true.
So, more Valve stuff. I'm actually going out of order from what you guys are seeing in the doc. But more Valve stuff. Valve has now made it so that developers can now specifically ban you from Steam. So developers can make this decision now as well, not just sort of a VAC system or Valve. So they basically did it to have what it seems like to me, and I talked about this on my stream this week, but is that to me this is a good thing because it adds a second layer of sort of protection against cheaters. Someone brought up the example of, well, what if a crazy person like Phil Fish starts going hammer and banning people from his game? I was like, well, that's not going to happen, A, because he's not making multiplayer games for the most part. Like, you're not going to be banned from a single-player game. Like, this is not going to happen.
No.
But to me, it just puts in another set of checks and balances against this sort of thing. You guys just talked about how well the ban waves worked in CS.
And then they also, whenever we do Overwatch stuff and people get banned through that, this update also applied to that, to where people who got Overwatch banned in CSGO, that shows up on their profile as well. It's not just something that's silent anymore.
Yeah.
So that's also one of the additions to it.
And so they made it so the developers can solely make that decision. Valve will just do the enforcing on the software side. So, for instance, who was it that made CSGO? I know that Valve does
Hidden Path.
but yeah, Hidden Path could, not that they, I don't think they have anything to do with it, so maybe this is a bad example, but
Yeah.
Valve maintains CS now, but
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they could have instructed, in this case, or like I don't know. I'm trying to think of another. Like Splash Damage and Dirty Bomb, a game we just sort of took crap on a little bit. But if they use a VAC system, that could come into play, or a dev could be on a server, see a person, and be like, "We want that guy banned," and they can do it now. So that was not an option before. So I mean,
unless you're someone that's like a super toxic person or a troll or cheating, then you really, I would think like you're saying, because I don't think it's going to be abuse on the side. Maybe if there is, then that game will get fucking. People will be mad.
I mean, who's really going to abuse it?
No one's going to do that. So yeah, people should be happy, I would think.
This seems like something that just makes complete sense for Valve to keep operating the way they do, where they want to pass on like as much support cost as they can to the devs and the publishers. So this just makes it just makes sense. Like Valve doesn't want to have to be responsible for that, so just pass it along. And the game has it in their own best interests to use this feature judiciously.
Yeah. And like I would love to see if Killing Floor 2 is a good example. Tripwire employee gets on a server with someone, sees some dude just, not that it affects you because you're playing against CPUs, but it would make the game no fun if you had a guy cheating on a KF2 server.
Yeah, just like hacking to farm or something.
Yeah. Like he could be like, well, there's this guy, let's get rid of him. So you have the VAC on there, and now developers going in as well. So I think it's a good thing overall. Now on to sort of the biggest news besides Valve revoking the paid mods of this week. PC Gamer has finally done what they've sort of preached about for years. AMD is teaming up with PC Gamer to have a PC gaming focused press conference type deal, much like you have the Microsoft one and the Sony one at E3 this year. So it'll be the first time that we have a PC focused show. Tripwire will be on there, Blizzard, Bohemia Interactive, Obsidian, Paradox, Devolver Digital, Humble Bundle Dudes, Cliffy B, and it's going to be hosted by Day 9. So very cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Very cool that we'll finally have our own sort of show there focused on the PC and the state of the PC in gaming. So very cool of AMD and PC Gamer to finally make this happen. It will be live on Twitch as most of the E3 conferences are. It'll be on June 16th. So very cool.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah. So hopefully it goes well. Very excited to see what they do and how they do it, and hopefully there's no awkward man in a suit trying to be hip and edgy like.
Well, I mean, that's why I said it. That's good when you said it was Day 9 hosting it, because he's pretty down to earth whenever he hosts anything. So hopefully that personality stays consistent. And nobody tries to force him to do anything silly like Aisha Tyler or something. I can't see any more of that garbage.
How dare you? How dare you still bring her up, dude?
She's fucking terrible on stage. Every time Ubisoft pays her to go up there and chill, it's so bad.
I love her don't give a fuck attitude. She says fuck on stage,
She
dude.
says
she's
fuck.
so brave, man. She's so brave. She says fuck on stage, dude. She gets it, man. She's a hip gamer girl, and I like her up there. So don't be mad. Anyway.
All right. Last thing, new releases. May 5th, some good new releases this week. Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, the standalone sort of story that takes you back to Castle Wolfenstein in the New Order. If you didn't play the New Order, it's fucking awesome. You don't have to own it to get this expansion. It's standalone, so you can just buy it. It's like $20 or something like that.
I might have to get that. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I'm going to be playing it Tuesday night on this channel. So make sure you're following the channel. But yeah, Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. Not sure how long it is, but given that it's a $20 sort of standalone, I would think you're going to get maybe even double-digit hours out of it, because Wolfenstein was decent length. So New Order was decent length. Also, Terra comes out on Steam that same day. Terra's been around for a while, but it's a pretty good MMO, and it is free to play now. So if you're looking for an MMO, you might want to try that out. Has a big anime bent to it, so if you are not into that, you may not want to. But I liked Terra in the time that I spent with it, so might want to check that out. And May 7th, finally, thank you, Base God, Project Cars.
Get your video cards ready.
Yes, get your PCs ready, because it's going to destroy them. 28-person multiplayer races.
Jeez.
Should be pretty epic. I'm so excited. We're going to be having Hex launch that one because he has a racing wheel and pedals and stuff. So we're going to have him do that launch stream. It should be pretty awesome. So May 7th, Project Cars would be very cool. Viewer questions, moving right on in. All right, the first one from Mike J. He writes in, you too can write in each week to community@kbmod.com via email or tweet us when we call for questions every Sunday. He writes, hey dudes, I'm currently on a 4-hour drive and just stopped to get a snack at the gas station. Therefore, I wanted to ask what each of your favorite road trip food items / beverages are. I ended up deciding on sweet and salty Chex Mix because I like my Chex Mix like I like my jizz. Cheers to you all.
Well,
Mike to the J.
Okay, man. Nice, dude. Good one, Mike.
Favorite road trip food items or beverages?
Beef jerky is always a choice for me.
I was gonna say jerky.
You're muted,
Jerky's always
Blah.
a good
You're
choice.
muted.
You're muted, blah.
Blah blah. The mute.
He rip-a-dips.
The
He's so mad.
defeated look.
He's so mad.
The annoyed look.
He was so ready. He was so ready.
You're still
I
muted.
know. It's still muted for us. Yeah.
I think his snowball dying on him again. Yo, we got to get this man an AT 2020 so he can. He's typing. He's typing.
I can. Here. Like, you want me to do it as blah? Can you write?
All
Just
right,
ordered
he's
one
restarting.
actually.
He's
Oh,
restarting.
never mind. Okay. Okay.
Jerky's
I
good
was.
because it doesn't get
Yeah.
all over the place. Like it, keeps your fingers clean and stuff. It's good. It's good if you're the one actually driving because you can just grab a stick of it and put it in your mouth.
I know what you're saying.
I totally know. Yeah. I actually like. Yeah, I do. I'm a big fan of the sticks of meat, man. I'll go real sell out, and I'll buy like the combo packs that have the little cheddar cheese little thing next to it. I'll buy the little ones. I'll eat that.
God.
I'll eat every kind
packs?
of. I like
Oh,
snack
man.
packs. I know. It doesn't make me. I know it's not like great, but I'll eat any kind of jerky for the most part. I'm a fan.
I
I'm a
like
Cheetos dude. By the way.
Cheetos.
Cheetos are good.
See,
While
Yeah, you're
driving?
always on those
But really
Cheetos
hard.
because they're
So
gluten free.
Yeah.
yeah, but Cheetos, man, that shit gets all over the car.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
I don't
That's the thing.
fucking care. My wife cleans it.
Oh, see, that doesn't
also-
fly in my
yeah.
car.
Oh, I'm sure not in your car.
Yeah,
Brandon.
not in
There's
Brandon's
no
car
way.
for sure.
Well, Brandon, your car's just shitty. That's why.
Oh!
Oh,
Brandon and I
right
have the
out.
same exact vehicle and the same exact color, with the same exact features.
I gotta go with like the sort of homemade Chex Mix, which isn't even called Chex Mix, but I'm blanking on the name. That has like this sort of caked on sugar and chocolate.
What, like Muddy Buddies?
Yes, that shit is delicious.
I mean, but that also gets all over your fingers.
Yeah,
like,
that's.
what?
I go with like peanut M&Ms if I'm going for chocolate or something, because like that makes no mess, even though it's chocolate and.
I also don't think those
the
count because
covering
we're
doesn't
talking
get
about
your
if you have to
fingertips.
stop and get a snack.
Oh,
Like you
okay.
can't get those
All
at a
right,
gas
all right.
station.
I see you.
I like hot peanuts. Those are good. You can just like
Yeah,
open
man,
the
a good
top and
bag
then you
of
don't have
peanuts
to worry.
is just the slim thing that you can fit in your mouth, like a nice dong, Just slide it right in there. It's a shoot of
Mark
salted
doesn't
peanuts.
I like how
You just put it in there and
Puppy
you just
chow,
fold it up
that's
and
what
you
it's
let it all
called,
go in.
puppy
You
chow.
don't chew.
That's true. No, you know what I was gonna say? Maybe
one
this is
nut
a
at a
little
time.
bit. I tend to maybe make statements that are a little extreme, but I don't think this is too extreme. I kind of wish I lived in like a communist country for only this reason: is that when you go to these gas stations, there's so much choice. It's just too, and I always rant on the choice thing. But like that's the problem. It's like, do I want jerky? Do I want to eat? There's 622 kinds of peanuts. This one's covered in chocolate. This one's spiced with jalapeno bacon rub. This, you know what I mean? It's just too much. Like at least I
what
feel like
don't
in
you
the
like
It's a
about
lot.
that?
It's a lot.
it's just too much though. It's like I don't know what to get. So
You're good,
now
Bob, by the way.
I'm pissed because I don't have a go-to. Like I don't have a go-to choice because there's
But
almost.
when you get to Pennsylvania, your go-to choice will be Wild Bill's beef jerky.
Will it? Okay.
I would
It's
love
the
to see
best.
Scott. I would love to see Scott
So
like
good.
observe him in a 7-Eleven when he goes in there and he
It's
has
too much.
absolutely no fucking idea what he wants. Like
No,
no
I
idea.
mind
So
is
he just goes
blown.
through
My girlfriend, like, I will walk around. I just, it's overwhelming. I almost shut down. It's too much. And then
I do the same thing.
By the time I get what I want, I'm just like, I'm not satisfied because there was all this choice. At least if I'm in a country that's like, listen, you shut up, you pay, you do your work, and here we go. We have water and stale bread. And guess what? If you stop and you go on a road trip, you're gonna have stale bread. And if you're
Those are the lucky ones.
Yeah, those are the people that are super lucky.
So,
anyway.
Blah, you were ranting about something before your mic gave out on you.
Yeah, I was giving props to beef jerky as a choice. I also like those pretzels that are like honey mustard and onion. I think
Those
they are.
Snyder's.
Yeah,
Snyder's
Oh
like
my God, Snyder's of Hanover, motherfucker.
They're fucking bomb.
Pretzel gods.
And then
Penny stick are the best pretzels. You guys are fucking crazy.
and then if like that's if you're at a gas station, you don't have any actual like food to choose from. If it's like a pit stop, it's actually fucking the best for me on a road trip is like a shitty fried chicken place like Popeyes. Like Popeyes on a road trip is for some, like, I do not eat fast food. I'm not huge on fried chicken, but for some reason, like just getting some chicken tenders from Popeyes and like some of that dirty rice they have, that's point.
How are you eating dirty rice in the car?
With a fork. I'm not driving.
It's in a thing.
If I'm on a road trip, I better not be by myself.
I don't drink pop on road trips anymore. If I'm getting
You have to piss too much. Fuck that.
Plus, like,
No, actually, that's why I like soda more on a road trip, because you have to use the restroom less often. Like if you go with like tea, like unsweet tea or something,
coffee.
you have but coffee, like that's the worst.
Just
You
go
have to
meth.
stop all the time.
Because then you're
Just
gonna
do
have
meth
to poop
at the
in a
beginning of
public
the
restroom. All right, that's
Yeah, and that's
John
not
just does
something you
mess at
should
the beginning,
subject
then you
yourself
never
to
have to
on-
stop again, ever.
I think my favorite drink if I'm on a road trip is usually maybe like an Arnold Palmer in a can or something.
Oh man, you
not
like the classics.
I do love
just a
me.
sweet
Yeah.
laid back drink. The convertible top down, just hanging out with an Arnold.
There's
Palmer.
a new Arnold Palmer. It's like strawberry tea. That shit
Yeah, I'll
is
take
so
that.
good.
I have had
headed to the
strawberry.
golf
It is
course.
really good. It is really good. I went on this whole unsweetened tea thing, right? I said last week that I really like unsweetened tea, right? Did I say that?
Yeah, you were
I don't
talking
know,
about
maybe.
that.
Yeah, I had it again today, and I was just, as I was drinking it, I was like, what? I was like, it's great. It's
Some
just
people
enough.
make some decent unsweet tea.
They do.
Some of it's not that great, but some of it's pretty good.
Yeah, just a hint.
It's just nice
It
and
depends.
refreshing.
Yeah.
I think what I'm saying is I think I like to be like restrained in some sense. Maybe I'm really starting to come into my. It's like I want people to take things away from me. I want people to like not give me sugar in my drinks. Just like.
Well,
just
have
treat me
any
like a piece
of
shit.
you ever eaten something like very compromising while driving? Just as like a quick side note before we move on.
What do
What do you mean
mean, like-
compromising?
Just something that was either like you had
unwieldy?
to put a condiment on a burger or something, or
Oh,
it was
yeah.
mit and you dropped something
and
on
it's, like, the
yourself.
worst.
Like it
Yo.
was just it was a bad choice.
Rodeo
to do in the
burgers
first
from
place.
Burger King are godlike, but a bad
Do those
choice
have
for the
barbecue
road.
sauce on them?
So rodeo burgers are the
And the onion
burger
ring?
with the cheeseburger with onion rings and barbecue sauce on top.
I used to make those when I worked at Burger King.
and they
That's why I
are
remember that.
fucking
Yep,
delicious.
yep.
But that no matter how you try to, stop it, the barbecue
Yeah.
sauce just flies out the back of that thing all
Yeah.
onto your pants and your shirt, and there's nothing you can do.
The worst thing I've ever done was just because I'm so fat and I wanted to eat my food so much that I had gotten I had a pulled pork plate with barbecue sauce. All right, this is embarrassing. But listen, I was so hungry and I could smell it and I had it and I was like, it was in a nice container that had a covered thing and I was like, I can navigate. Like it won't be that bad. And not only did I get barbecue sauce all over like my pants and shirt. To be fair, I was driving home, but I I had gotten a drink too, and
Pork while driving?
and I knocked over my Coke. This was like in college. This is in my old shitty Escort. I had also knocked over my drink cup because I was so like I looked down and I realized that I was just covered with barbecue sauce, and I was like reaching for napkins and I knocked my drink over too. Suffice it to say that car didn't sell for much. So much
God.
food junk in
I
there.
just
lot
have
like
this
barbecue
mental image
sauce
of
with Coke.
Scott with like a plate of pulled
Yeah, I had my
He's
fork
eating
and I
with a
was
fork
Scott
and
would be the
knife while
first
he's
person
driving.
to buy like a TV dinner tray that attaches to your steering wheel.
Yeah, I would.
Like
I
that.
would do that, dude.
Think about the
I'm just like,
logistics of that as you turn the wheel and all the
dude, that's
food
what I mean.
flies.
It was every time I turned,
counterbalance it.
every time I turned the wheel, I would like shift the platter so like the barbecue sauce would start dripping. And then I was like, maybe I could eat it sideways if I put it next to me on my right. But then that didn't feel right because then the food was too far away. Anyway, it just ended up being a disaster. I ate like half of it, and then the rest of it was on me, and I was like, I won't do this again. But
Just got
Well, that
out of
was
the
worth-
car.
that was worth asking
pulled
the
pork
question.
falls.
at
to
least
the
I was
ground.
going home. At the very least, I was able to like clean my clothes and shower.
Oh,
Anyway,
Lesson
I've
learned
done
that
it.
you shouldn't eat like a full barbecue dinner while you drive.
It's not advised. No.
oh.
Oh well.
All right.
Live and learn, you know.
I'm gonna skip this one. All right, at Spencer McManamy, which I can't believe is a real Twitter name. This is my second time asking, but what do you think was the cause of the lack of Oculus Rift hype? It's dead now. Why? I don't think it's dead.
They just don't talk about it. They don't have anything new to say. It's
Yeah,
just
I just think it's
development,
just
so-
as not as.
They're
yeah.
letting all of these other people that are making VR headsets like create some hype, and then they're just gonna
Yeah.
step in and be like,
Yeah, I
"Look
mean-
at how much better ours is," and we were quiet.
They'll
Fuck boys.
probably have the first best consumer available product and just shove that out.
Yeah.
And let that
DK2
just speak for
DK2
itself.
came out last summer, I think, or early fall, and we actually had one. Bob's doing a write up. We had one here. Shout outs to Steve from Newegg for letting us borrow that. Mike and him played around with it and said it was fucking amazing. But they helped Samsung make that Gear VR, the Oculus dudes. And then HTC and Valve made that other one. So it's kind of like the VR hype is still
Yeah.
definitely there.
It's just coming
more
from different
mainstream
angles
than
now,
ever. Yeah, I would say.
Kind of feels like they're probably just throwing a ton of resources at the development now, and you just
Yep.
hear less about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, follow John Carmack on Twitter. You'll have no idea what he's saying, but he
You
talks
shouldn't
about
even follow him because he's part of Oculus. You should just follow him
It's-
because
yeah.
he's John Carmack.
He's the perfect guy.
All right. At Trey Buke on Twitter asks, what is the one video game you've always wanted to be really good at, but you can't seem to get it down?
I wish I was good at one fighting game, just any fighting game. I've never been able to stick with one, but I mean, I own a fight stick, and I still haven't stuck with a fighting game to be even remotely competent at it.
I wish I was.
Go
I
ahead.
mean,
Go ahead.
I wish I was better at Smash Brothers Melee, or I wish I was actually good at CS:GO because so many of my friends play it, and
That's-
I just don't have the dedication to get good.
that's so funny.
I mean,
that
at
you
least
say
with
that, 'cause my
CS:GO, it's a
answer
team
seems real
game,
obvious.
and that's
CS:GO
easier
for
to
me.
yeah.
CSGO for sure.
Mine's been Counter-Strike for the last 10 years. I just can't really get it down, can I?
Yeah.
No, but like more serious answer would be I've always wanted fighting game is a good answer, but I always wanted to be good at like pro level at Halo, and I just same thing. Like even though like I would play the MLG playlist and I'd have one good game and like Halo 3 and I'd be like, dude, I'm gonna be like fucking I don't know, name any
actually
pro,
feel kinda
Ogre
the same.
1. And then I would be like,
yeah.
how do they do it with these fucking shit controllers? And then I'd be like, that's it, I'm out. But I really
Before
wanted
the
to be
Master
good at
Chief
Halo.
Collection failed. I bought into that because I
Yeah.
wanted to try to get good at a Halo game because I always liked the way that it played.
Yeah.
And that just didn't happen. I mean, I haven't played that game in months since it was fucking broken as all get out.
I would say Street Fighter, because I'm definitely not good at it, but I'm like in the process. So, and I finally found a character I like to use. So there's that. But I would say probably COD 4 Pro Mod was the one for me, because I got like semi decent at it, and then just like never took it beyond that.
Is there anybody playing COD 4 Pro Mod still? Like,
think
are
it's-
there?
It's like 9 people, probably.
Yeah, yeah, it's like pretty
Dude,
bad.
man, you remember those COD 4 Pro Mod videos from that dude? I think it was like Sinwin or
Yeah,
SNS
dude.
or something.
Best game. Game was so good, dude.
Oh, it's so good. I watched fucking Mazzarini's video the other day. Like a couple weeks ago, I watched Play with Soul. God damn. All right. Second to last question. Uturknik _ on Twitter asks, who is the biggest asshole you have ever met in a video game, and what game were they from? It can be NPC or multiplayer. I was thinking more NPCs in this case.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta go with Pate. I think it's Pate. No, I think
Yeah,
I have
Pate.
the name wrong. Not well, in Dark Souls 1, there's also a Pate, or like an equivalent of Pate. The dude down in the catacombs who is trying to kill that poor woman from the beginning of Dark Souls for no reason. She just wants to go down there and pray. Leave her alone.
He just really hates clerics for some reason.
He hates them. There's
And he also kicks you into the hole.
Yeah, unless you kick his ass first.
Yeah. Generally good idea.
He's just a fucking dick. Patches.
Oh, it's Patches,
It's
that's right.
Patches
Yeah,
in Dark
Patches.
Souls. God, that guy is a dick. For no reason.
His equivalent in Bloodborne is horrifying, by the way.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he's an asshole for existing.
Yeah. Yeah. I trusted that guy initially. What a mistake.
A terrible human being.
I think my answer after, I mean, I'm not finished totally yet with GTA 5, but even though there is emotion to the character, as far as at least when you meet him, Trevor from Grand
That's
Theft Auto
what I was
5
kind of thinking too.
is because he is. There's more than just being an asshole. He's a fucking psycho. But some like that the opening when you meet Trevor, the first time you ever meet him, is one of the most fucked up kind of scenes for me in any game.
Was really good.
Where he literally just like fucking curb stomps. Spoilers. What's his face from the Lost and the Damned? Anyway, like, and he. I mean, in the game as it goes on, I mean, some of the stuff you do as Trevor is just fucking like deplorable, and how he treats also other people who are fucking like clearly beneath him, but like and he manipulates people. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to top that in any game. Up to this point.
A couple good ones in chat here. Eric Sparrow is a dick. Steals
Eric
your fucking
Sparrow
tape.
from fucking
Oh, from
Tony
Watch the-
Hawk, from
Aiden,
Tony
that
Hawk's
too.
Underground.
That's true.
The guy from the beginning tries to sabotage every move you make and steal your skating thunder. This motherfucker even steals your footage from that sweet ass jump that you made across that hotel in Florida. It was the coolest thing that you ever did in your life. It was like a Super McFlurry twist, 9 million. And Eric Sparrow got the VHS tape, put it in somebody's VCR, and is like, dude, I did that. And he almost got away with it. That motherfucker. He's a
Also,
real jerk.
Number one actually has been brought up in chat now as the only person here to finish Watch Dogs. Aiden Pierce is a fucking dick.
He's the worst character.
He is the
Oh,
main
it's
character,
awful.
and you're supposed to be sympathetic to him, but he's just an asshole. And he's an asshole the entire game, without fail. So, and then at the end, he's still an asshole. He's supposed to be redemption, but no. All right.
Mine would be just quickly. Mine would be
go ahead.
Ryan from Beyond Two Souls, who is
Oh, Ryan.
who becomes the love interest of the character of Jodie, despite whatever the fuck you do. David Cage forces the relationship down your throat because you start off on the worst of terms with this guy who's like 10 years older than you at first. I mean, you're like a teenager when he comes by and steals you to the CIA, and he's got to be in his late 20s. So obviously that's creep factor number one, but then just forcing that relationship down your throat the entire game. He is the biggest dick on the planet, and I was happy to have his eye gouged out by the Chinese and just letting it happen. It was the most satisfying thing in that game.
Garrosh Hellscream.
Garrosh Hellscream is a bit of an
snap.
asshole.
There you go
He
with
is
the
a
WoW
huge
reference.
asshole.
What
Yeah.
a
What?
cunt.
Thrall is worse than Garrosh. You want to get on this level right here? I'll get Allison on the podcast right now.
Thrall's
to
not
shit
an
his
asshole
mouth.
though. He's just kind of a shittily written character now. He was like really cool for a long time, and then they were just like, nah, he's just Green Jesus. And Garrosh is the answer. The question was, who's the biggest asshole? So I'm going to say Garrosh.
All right. Last question. Why did APL get up? Why would he do that right before a KDZen question?
I thought that was the question.
Oh my god. Now
Like,
I
that
have
was a
to,
shitty question.
I'm giving him like 30 seconds before I start reading this thing. Oh my goodness. What a dick.
Fucking Scott Fisher. There he is.
You get up right before I'm going to read a KDZen
I'm back. Sorry.
question.
I had to check something.
Jesus. All right.
Go for it.
This next question comes from KDZen. I think it's his first one in a few months now.
Oh, Jesus.
This is how you do it, by the way. If you're going to give us epic questions, you got to space them out, okay? You can't try every week. Also,
Body's
you
good.
can't be KDZen no matter how hard you try.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you just can't. He has
There's
a way
only one.
about him.
Is a gift.
Yes. All right. Let me focus. As a
Yeah.
person who
I'll
has
try
read
not to-
poetry in front of crowds of people, these are still extremely hard to do. Okay. KDZen via email. Lay fields of the KBMOD chat were wet with memes. Sounds like a nice spring day. All me ruser eyes could see were me dead and deported fellow soldiers and memers after the deadly raid of Lay Lord Crip armies. The only Coomrude of mine alive would be Sergeant Barndoor. He reappears.
Oh, no.
As I hold me meme rifle, I study his booty, which was supposed to be body, but was spelled booty. He's uniform ripped and torn with scars of stray copy pastas. His eyes bloodshot from hours of modding. He turned eye to me, ask, "Got a new mag, brother?" From Brandine Senpai noticing me, I throw me last clip for my meme gun. With only a banhammer remain,
Oh my god.
me watch as his creamy white hands load his long, thick mod cuck. I can't even say that word.
God damn it.
Jesus.
We listen closely and hear the calls in the distance of incoming memers shouting, "I sexually identify as Barndoor," and "just taking my memes for a walk." Barndoor stood proud and say to me, "Good news, ladies, the check cleared. Bish bash bosh." At a brisk pace, he's butt clenched tight. He take off towards hostile dank memes. Firing into lay memers, I see countless bodies disapper into bloody and torn, message deleted.
Art.
I can't take it more longer. He's sexy admin, but too desirable. I grab Barndoor by his back door as he thrust my attack helicopter in his free CSGO key here. Me whisper in his ear, "Am I rushing in? Or do you want it sneaky beaky like?" Immediately, we begin to meme all over the chat as we are quickly permabanned. Me question for cast is, do I let me memes go unquestioned, or do I make Reddit posts condemning the streamer for banning me for no raison?
I think this is the best KDZen post that I've heard ever.
Oh god.
I am actually
The role play.
The fucking meme rifle. Like that.
this like
The sneaky beaky line.
I can't. It's just. It's art. It's
Good
really
news,
art.
ladies. The check cleared. Bitch, batch.
Bish bash bosh.
Like you
I
have to
think
actually.
Mod Cuck needs to become like a staple name. Mod Cuck
God.
is just so beautiful. It's poetry.
It's impressive to even read. Dan did a really good job of reading it, but it's just even impressive to see it written down. Like, you gotta
What
see
is
it.
the good news,
It's-
ladies? The check cleared. Is that a pasta? Am I missing this?
it sounds
I
like a
still
thing.
laughed.
Or is that like an action line from like an action movie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but it's
CSGO, but
Wait,
I
is
feel
it?
like some
is-
of the references are almost too meta.
I think it's
Yeah.
like COD
I might
4,
not
maybe.
even be
I
up
don't
on
know.
all of these memes.
I don't even know.
It's unbelievable. You know what it is?
It's a
like
Black
it's like
Ops
a
2
fucking-
reference. Okay, there we go.
The check
Oh,
cleared.
okay.
God, okay.
All right. There it
It's
is.
just incredible how he can come out with hit after hit. I mean, there is time in between them, but my God, it's like KDZen has built his brand. It will be good. Jesus.
Firing
It's-
into the memers, I see countless bodies disappear into bloodied and torn, message deleted. That is art.
Art.
Yeah.
Oh
he,
my God.
he didn't even like misspell that much this time. It's
No.
just a well-written story for the
yeah, it's
most
just
part.
good.
I just the imagery of his uniform ripped and torn with scars of stray copy pastas. Like fucking It's the middle of the Civil War, and Brandon is on a horse, a fucking noble white steed, and his uniform is torn asunder by copy pasta.
My God.
So,
All right.
Well,
Well,
I mean, so I think you
Go ahead.
probably
Yeah.
make a Reddit post.
yeah.
you probably
Yeah,
would
I would say.
When in
that's-
doubt, post on Reddit because for the most part, I mean, we've seen what they were able to do with Valve.
Yeah.
They'll get they'll get you
get it
unbanned.
done.
I think when you have a personal problem that's pretty much reserved to just you, and you have a problem with a one-to-one, some mod fucked you up, rather than PMing them or trying to reach out to them on Twitter, I think you should make a giant stink about it, kick your feet, and cry about it on Reddit. That's how you get shit done in this day and age. Everybody wants to read about your personal vendettas against mods in chats.
That's true.
There's nothing like when I go on Reddit and I see things about like the news and world events and earthquakes. I'm physically
I
sick
wanna
to my
hear about
stomach
you.
because
I think we need
go to
drama
Reddit
alert on this.
for people's personal problems that I want to hear.
I know Keemstar. We can get drama alert on this. If,
Oh,
if you have some
absolutely.
problems with a mod in
That's-
chat, absolutely on
Nazi
the news
mods.
tomorrow.
All right. That's it for episode 188. But you listen on iTunes. Brandon has a feature of iTunes to tell you about. He does.
Yeah. We have a program here that relies on a feature that Apple actually built, but we've modded it for our own needs. So if you listen on iTunes or even if you watch live, you have access to the iTunes program. It's a desktop program. It's an awful program, but just hear me out. So you can rate podcasts on this service. And that's a valuable thing to do because it helps us out. It doesn't really do much for you, but we try and give back. And so we wanted to make benefits for you for doing this for us. So all you have to do is you write a review, and you can write really anything you want. It's free text. I'm not going to tell you what to put there, but you can tell us if you like the podcast, if you hate it, or whatever. That's a great place for feedback. It's a great place for memes. It's a great place for stories. But the only rule of this program is you have to give us 5 stars. Now, there was a guy this week who didn't give us 5 stars.
Oh.
And actually, I was considering like reading part of his review or like because it was kind of funny, right? But the point of his review was he left off 1 star. And as much as I appreciate why he left off 1 star, and I'm not even going to say it, because I'm not going to give him the publicity that he desires.
Yeah, that's smart.
But it was funny. It was funny and topical, but that he broke the rules. You can't leave off 1 star. That doesn't work like that. It has to be 5 stars.
Doesn't fly, kiddies.
So anyway, I literally just deleted it from.
I saw it in real time. That was
Yeah.
beautiful. Backspace the fuck out of
Straight
that
from the
bitch.
dock.
But we have gotten some great reviews. We do often get reviews from members of the Hodes family, but we recognize not everyone is a member of the Hodes family. So put your name if you like. You can also leave it anonymously. There are very few rules. The only rule you have to follow is you give us 5 stars, and you might get featured on the program here. So Dan, we had a few reviews this week actually, but we picked one. But please, let the viewers know.
We had many reviews to pick from this week from notable reviewers such as Casper the Friendly Hodes, which is still a C Hodes, I suppose. Rink. I have to read this next one correctly.
Read it properly.
Wrinkly Fanny. Wrinkly Fanny.
The spelling of this name is
Wrinkly
fantastic.
Wrinkly Fondy.
Yeah, Wrinkly
Spell that like an Asian
Fanny. And
Yeah, there you go.
and Holden McCock. Which, I mean,
I'm like,
I think I met Holden once. I might have
Yeah.
met him at PAX or something.
Holden M. Shout outs to Holden M.
no, man.
And the one though that made it on here was the title is "Ballin' Out of Control" by
This name,
Carmelo Hodes.
Carmelo.
You'll never guess who Carmelo actually is. Here's the review. Hey guys, it's Carmelo Hodes, formerly Carmelo Anthony, of the shit show that is the New York Knicks. Ever since I got divorced and married the lovely Charlene Hodes and changed my last name to enter the wonderful family that is the Hodes, I've been listening to this podcast to distract myself from both my injury and the embarrassment that goes on in Madison Square Garden. I love that this just shits all over the Knicks.
He's very aware of how shitty his team is.
I swear most of you guys on the cast could probably put together a better team than the one I'm borderline ashamed to be a part of. Anyways, keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Carmelo Hodes. Former
Thanks.
All-Star.
I mean, that's also. I mean, I know it's Carmelo Hodes, but to have somebody as
yeah,
like formerly Carmelo Anthony again, we've had some really impressive celebrity reviews recently.
that's
So keep it up.
amazing. Well, thank you, Carmelo.
It really makes a statement, just like how the Hodes have gotten their name out there, that he actually chose to take his wife's last name.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Very,
That's true, too. That's a
very
great point.
progressive.
Yeah,
All in the name
Charlene,
of
who I
being a
believe
Hodes.
has sent in a review before.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible.
All right.
Fuck the Knicks. Fuck the Knicks.
Small follow-up. If you didn't see the SB Nation article where they went to free concession night on the last regular season game for
God.
the Knicks, go fucking read it. It's so amazing. That is it for episode 188. Shout out to Carmelo Hodes and KDZen for topping this one off for us. As always, you can follow all of us on Twitter. APL is at APL Fisher. Blacklight Attack is at BlackLITE Attack. Mark is at AllShamNoWow on all the things. John is at KBMOD John. And Brandon is at Volition with a 1 for the first I. And I am at NipNops TV. And the main Twitter is at KBMOD Gaming. You can also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/KBMOD. And make sure you follow the channel on Twitch, twitch.tv/KBMOD. And we will see you guys next week, same time, same place for episode 189 of the podcast. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks to Mark for being on this week.
No
And
problem.
We'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Later, dudes.
Go watch the next game.
Yatta!